What a night tonight at MSG. I can't think of another day in the last 40 years that was a bigger night at Madison Square Garden than tonight. I used to go to Madison Square Garden with my grandpa and my grandma. We'd go there for Barnum and Bailey. I'd go there with my Uncle Richard for like WWF when Bruno Sammartino was wrestling, and he would be there. Jeff Backlund would be there. We would go watch those guys wrestle. That was a big event. Knicks games I've been to. Ranger games I've been to. I got to say, with all the excitement tonight, that this is going to be as big an event since Ali Frazier back in the early 70s. Got the President of the United States in the building. And, I mean, you got a shot for the Knicks to go up 3-0. And it's incredible. I mean, I've never seen Madison Square Garden. They were doing this stuff early this morning and getting all the area around the garden and getting it ready for tonight. I cannot wait to see. Dude, by the way, $13,000 just to get in the building. Just to get in the building, $13,000, $100,000 for courtside seats tonight. Dude, this thing's going to be off the charts tonight. I'm telling you. All right. Super chats go to the top. Appreciate all of you being here. Please hit the like button. 46 days until the start of training camp. You want to hear something else? 59 days until August 6th. That's the Hall of Fame game. I think the Arizona Cardinals are playing the Carolina Panthers in that Hall of Fame game. So you got Hall of Fame game. I think it's because of Luke Kuechly and Larry Fitzgerald going into the Hall of Fame. They got these two teams playing. So 59 days until you got football, until we got the Hall of Fame game. Mini camp this week. This is the last rehearsal before you get to like the training camp. And this is the last time like the general manager and everyone gets a chance to take a look at on what your football team is with your 90-man roster. These are the guys you have right now. The majority of these players right now, these are going to be the guys that you're going to go into the fall and try to win a championship with. Obviously, one thing that Howie and I would say also that John Schneider, the general manager of the Seahawks, the one thing that those guys all have in common, they will spend money up to the trading deadline. And if there's anybody out there, as you're getting closer to the start of the season, those guys will make a deal. Those guys will make a move. A guy like Jason Light and the Buccaneers, those guys don't move and don't use the trading deadline. They don't do that. And that's why they're never going to win a championship with that mentality. But Howie, John Schneider, Eric DeCosta, those guys, Baltimore's general manager, those dudes will make moves. And even John Lynch, he'll do that too with the San Francisco 49ers. Do me a favor, guys. Again, please hit the like button here. All right. Gary Cobb will join us at 4:30. As always, Big Z will hit us up at 3:30. All right. So let's put this out here. Okay? And this is going to really kind of encompass everything. All right? And I'm going to start it off with this. This is not the topic. But this is going to go into the topic. Why haven't the Eagles given Jalen Hurts a contract extension? I know what some of you are going to say. What about the other quarter? I'm not fucking talking about them. I'm talking about Jalen Hurts. This is not the topic. If they're so comfortable with him, why not extend him? Okay? Why not extend him? Just some simple answers, and not a lot, because this is not the topic. Why haven't they even addressed it? Okay? What do you mean they got to pay other people? That's ridiculous. Pay other people. You mean to tell me you think Cooper DeJean is more important than the starting quarterback on your team? All right. Here, because they want to see what he's going to do. Okay. Here's another one. Not a lot. He's going to a new system, prove it year. They aren't comfortable with him. Fair enough. Listen, one more. Let me get one more here. Sills, history shows they can win with their system, not the quarterback. Fair enough. Okay. Here's the topic. Does the Eagle front office have more faith in the new scheme or Jalen Hurts? Who do they have more comfort with? They have made a boatload of changes. Coaching, personnel, schematics. It's all new. You hear everyone talking about the new system. Folks, I don't believe they're going to go through all this and then change this out at the end of the year if it doesn't work. I think they're going to change the quarterback out if this doesn't work. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are in a position now where if the quarterback can't go to this offense, he's not the dude of the future. You're not going through all of this. Not pay the guy even, and then sit there at the end of the year and go, let's rip it up and do something again with the same guy. How in God's name would they do that? So get this. Here, this is a brand new system. This is not what we've seen. You have hired new personnel guys. You moved up 3 spots in the draft to get a wide receiver, and you're bringing in new people. Sills, neither. They have comfort in the way they do business. They fix mistakes quickly, money, and have hit late on drafts. I have comfort the organization will do what they need to do. 3 decades of success, we are usually always in contention. Okay? Seals, the Eagles are trying to fix the run game. Under center is about the run game. They want to get explosive plays, play action. I don't think this is about volume passing. Well, then why do you have volume receivers? You have multiple receivers. How about this? Again, you're not extending the quarterback. And yet you're making all these moves. You're making all these moves. Here, let's see this. Where are we now? June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So you're telling me that they're making all these moves for a 7-month sample size? You think the Philadelphia Eagles are making all these moves and they're going to say in 7 months, this football team's got to look like a prolific passing attack? Is that what you're saying? Or how about this? This offense has to look different than what it has the last 4 years. You're telling me they're going to rip this up in 7 months? There is no doubt everything they've done. This is about the quarterback this year, and I think the front office has more faith in what they're going to do because, like Bob said, and Zander and I have said, they believe they can win with their way of thinking. This is not about Nick. Nick's job is safe. Hurts' job is not. Is that fair? Nick's job is safe. You're not ripping this up in 7 months. To do what? Start all over again? And start from square one again? Next offseason? How are you going to start over again next year? By ripping it up, moving the coach out, moving the quarterback out? You're going to be completely revamping everybody? Get this. Here, one of the very few times. You see this guy here? Listen, I appreciate him coming here every day. And I don't know. He says we have no viewers. He said we have nobody that watches us. He says nobody is watching me. I'm not relevant. I'm nothing. But he's here every day for 4 hours. And we appreciate him. So thank you very much, you being the only viewer and the only watch guy that we have for the show. Thank you. And every single day he's here, we have no viewers. Nobody watches us. Nobody cares about us. But as long as we're talking to him, we're good. So my question would be this, okay? And I never do. I see him over here. I never read you, guy. I float right by you. What I will say is this. He will not believe this because he doesn't want to hear this. They made all the moves this offseason. They've hired 5 new wide receivers. They have hired an offensive coordinator. The front office believes in their way of doing business. Is that a false statement? Is that a false statement? That guy says it's a false statement. Who do you think the Eagles... Let me ask you guys. Who do you believe the Eagle front office believes in more? Their way of winning or Jalen Hurts' way of winning? Who do you think they believe in? The way they do business or Hurts? They've won without Jalen Hurts before. They've totally won without him. Guys, their way. Correct. Front office. That's right. They believe more in them, which means Nick. So wait, okay, so now we've pushed that out of the way. They think they can win. Right. Sills, they're holding off on Hurts because they know things can go sideways quickly. With all these changes, they have quarterback options in this draft. If they start over, Mannion will be the head coach. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, once again, going into this football offseason and going into this beginning of the year, end of the day, the front office right now, and their way of thinking, they believe more in what they're doing than the quarterback. Because if they believed in the quarterback, they would have extended him. It said, we're going to give Jalen 2-3 years. Hey, by the way, why hasn't the organization sent that message out? Hey, we're changing this offense. We want to give Hurts a lot of time. Let's extend him out 2 years, 3 years. How come they haven't done that? How come they haven't done that? Don't you think that a contract extension, and think about this too. If you put a contract extension on there, wouldn't that attract potential free agents to want to come and play in this new offense? Instead, you don't extend them. That means other free agents are waiting and seeing, like other general managers and other guys out there that are agents going, I'm not going there. The quarterback's not even secure. Dan, to make sure I get it, if all of these changes don't work by January, do you think both Jalen and Nick are gone? Love your show, Bill. Thank you. No. And thank you for the super. No, Walker, no. I think Jalen's gone. I think Hurts is gone, not Nick. Same argument for Hurts not getting replaced. Apples to Nick. We have a horrible year. They're both will get the boot. So then what you're going to do is you're going to rip all the things and all the contracts that you've given, and you're going to go out and do what? Try to get Joe Burrow, and then try to bring in what? A new coach that would want to come in and work with that front office in that environment? No way. What coach would work with Howie and the way they do business? Name me one. Name me one successful coach that would come in and work with the Eagle organization with all the requirements they put on and having no say in personnel. No coach is going to go through that. So this organization has put a scheme together for a quarterback, not the quarterback they have. If Hurts makes it work, great. If not, the pieces are there for the next guy. Absolutely correct. Guys, I'm going to show you one more time and I'm going to lay it out. How many people in here believe that the front office of the Philadelphia Eagles believes that they know how to win Super Bowls more than coaches or anybody else that they've brought into their building? And that coaches are expendable. Players are expendable. How many people believe that? Now I'm hearing that 2 NFL GMs are saying Roseman may be using a very high pick to go up and get Sorsby in the next draft. Yeah, because Sorsby just got his eligibility back. And with an injunction, he just got his eligibility back, and he will be in the NFL draft. And he's going to make $6 million this year and nil at Texas Tech. By next offseason, they're going to trade for someone like Burrow, Mac Jones, or Mayfield, an experienced pocket passer. Dude, wouldn't it make – okay, so look, everyone in here believes that the front office knows how to win. And he knows how to win, okay, over any coach or any player. That's block number one. Here's block number two. If you were really going to do this and you were really believing in Hurts, you'd go, here's 3 years now. It may not get to where we want this year, but what we're going to do is we're going to evolve the offense over the next couple years. And Jalen's going to get time to grow in the offense. Doesn't that message of them extending him, wouldn't that tell you they want to give him time to develop in this new offense? Instead, with a guy with a resume like that, they're not extending him. They're making it a wait-and-see year. They're making it a wait-and-see. Guys, that's not an opinion. That's all facts. Seals, the real question is, what do you do with Hurts if we make a deep run but Hurts threw for 3,100 yards? You'll be back in the same conversation again. You'll be back in the same conversation. You got all this equity you spent in money on offense, and the quarterback doesn't utilize it. Khalid says, I missed this super. Let me see if I missed it. See if I missed your super here. Is there a world where a quarterback gone but OC still here? Yeah. Khalid, there is. If they think Sean Mannion's the answer for the next guy, absolutely. You can't answer. Okay, so let's put that question out. Who do you believe Jeffrey Lurie believes in more? The front office or Jalen Hurts? Let's see what you say. The new scheme that the front office is putting in with the coaching staff or Hurts? Who do you believe, the organization? Hey, by the way, they had to get an okay from the owner to make these drastic changes. The owner had to be okay with this. Front office. Front office. The front office is correct to not extend him yet. They have no idea how we fare in this offense or how he will fare. He's done it already. He has not done it in this offense already. Guy, you're missing the question. If they had done it already, why wouldn't they stay with what they're doing? And I love the people that come in here and say, well, every team, no, they don't change their offense. They're not changing anything in Los Angeles with both teams. They're not changing anything in Kansas City. They're not changing anything in Buffalo, Baltimore, Tampa, even a new coordinator in Tampa. They're not changing anything. They're adding more. Only in Philly are you asking the quarterback to completely change. Hey, Sills, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if they moved on from Doug, if they had a bad year, they for sure will move on from Nick and promote from inside the organization. I'm not saying you're wrong, bro. I'm just saying that Nick is a perfect head football coach to work with because he'll sit there and do what they need. He's got no say in personnel, and I think he's got a 50-50 say when it comes to hiring these coaches. So you mean to tell me, let me get this right. Again, so when Nick Sirianni makes a hire as an offensive coordinator for a $50 million player, Jeffrey Lurie's cool with hiring a guy that's never called to play? Hey, dude, he must be. Hey, Jeff, I'm going to hire a guy right out of college to run your football team. He's got no experience whatsoever. But hey, he started as a quarterback in the NFL, so he knows football. You would do that? I'll tell you what, Jeffrey Lurie would never have a guy fresh out of college run his organization. But to run his offense, that's kind of wild. Tough, detailed, together. The Sirianni way. Yeah. Let's see here. We got a younger tight end now. Well, I don't think he's going to play a lot. Stowers? I don't think he plays a lot. I will say odds are against Hurts. He has never played this way. Either way, Jalen Hurts will move on and be just fine. Curious as to what quarterback will they scout in college to develop. I don't think they're going to scout anybody. I think they're going to bring in a veteran guy, a Mayfield, Mac Jones. They can win and go to Super Bowls with average quarterbacks. We see it all the time. We see it all the time. You can go to Super Bowls with average quarterbacks. We've seen it the last 2 years. Again, the topic is more about who does the front office and who do the owners and Jeffrey Lurie believe in more, the new scheme or Hurts? Obviously, the new scheme. The new scheme has nothing to do basically with Hurts or anything he does well. Jalen's either going to go along with it or he's going to be left behind. Stowers looks like a wide receiver more than a tight end. Got to bulk up and develop. Talented receiver, though. He didn't start. He didn't start at Vanderbilt. Seals, for Jalen, AJ, Howie, Lurie, who is one to make sure AJ isn't telling the truth? If so, they wouldn't take his weapons away. I'm going to get to that. I got a topic on that here in a minute, too. Themselves, front office is arrogant as hell. That's a fact, too. Look up Mac Jones and Baker's win record. That's so ridiculous. That is so ridiculous. Look up their one-loss record playing for the Jets, Carolina. I mean, playing for the Browns and Carolina. And a bad New England team at the end. Look at the win rate. Those are shitty organizations. My God, some of these people don't know how to look at football. You don't think quarterbacks go to bad places? Man. Just look at Sam Darnold, dude. Sam Darnold was in horrible places. Got good coaching. And in the last 2 years, he's 28-6 with a Super Bowl ring. Yeah, okay. Sills, will you say their scouting department will be working OT this year to find the right quarterback who can develop? And who in college could play their scheme? You got to look at a drop back guy. The guy at Southern Cal, I don't believe Trinidad Chambers can play it. This Sorsby kid could play it. I think Arch Manning could play it. Possibly Dante Moore. Sayin at Ohio State could probably play it. Seals, none of this would be an issue if Nick could run the offense. That's why I think Mannion has a shot to replace Nick if this works. Mannion would be their new Andy Reid. I'd be hard as hell if they have any kind of success to move off of Nick. Okay? It'd be hard as hell. Mac Jones was fine. I'm surprised the Pats got rid of him. I think Mac Jones is a better passer than Hurts. He's got more skill. And Jalen has more skill at running and being dual threat. It's not a rip. It's just different skill set. Seals, you think Sellers could run this offense? No. The old offense, yes, I do. Yes. Mac Jones ain't winning nothing. Yeah, he is. Better organ. Yeah, you probably said the same thing about Sam Darnold. The passing game is going to look familiar, but from under center and going under center is to be less predictable in the run game. I'm completely with J Mac on this. Okay. Now you're taking into consideration. Now you got to talk about Barkley. So Sills, so Hurts won't be extended in Philly based on what? I said that. Well, here's my opinion. Since they haven't extended him, I don't believe he's going to run the offense. That's an opinion. I don't believe he's going to succeed this year. You said Hurts would never win anything. Pipe down. I know, dude. I said Sam Darnold wouldn't either. Got it wrong with both guys. Got it wrong with both good QBs. You think he can't throw slants and hand it to Barkley? I think they want to do more than that. Baker is so good that the Bucs aren't giving him a new contract. The Buccaneers came in with an offer and Baker turned it down. Baker thinks he's a $60 million a year guy. The Bucs offered him 49, and he said, "You're far away." That's where they are. The Bucs came in on a 3-year deal at 49. The projected market value for Baker Mayfield is $51 million. The Bucs came in undervalued. His people said, "You have until the beginning of the year if you want to do a deal. If you don't want to do a deal, we are not talking contract." And Baker is betting on himself. He's not signing a contract once they get into training camp. Okay? And by the way, the last 3 years, Mayfield's outplayed Hurts. Actually, got a winning record against him. If you want to go down that lane like you guys like to do. Let's see. Theme of Jalen's career is he's never had some coaches longer than a couple years. Well, that's because the head coach is not a play caller. He's done well given circumstances. He surely has. Unfortunately, league isn't waiting for him to develop now. Put up or shut up. 51 million is a lot for a game-ending interception. Which one? Hurts or Mayfield? You really keep thinking that's me, you down bad. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, guy. Most of the time, the shit you're talking, I have no idea what you're talking about. Baker's 2-2 versus the Eagles? Okay, thanks. Thanks for correcting. Seals, where else do we get cheaper on offense? I don't see us skipping out O-line. It's been a stable since the Andy days. That's where a lot of organizations go wrong, not building the foundation. Correct. Hey, dude, I have no problem spending money on your offensive line. The problem is you're starting to spend a lot of equity on the perimeter. Get this, you're spending more money on the perimeter. Most of you guys in here think Markel Bell's going to take over for Lane Johnson. I don't. Let's see if he's better than Fred Johnson first, before you start crowning him the next replacement for Lane. Lane was like the third pick in the draft. Markel was like a fifth rounder, fourth rounder. I mean, Lane Johnson was like the third pick in the draft. And he's a Hall of Fame guy. You think Markel Bell's the answer? Let's see if let's see if that guy ends up becoming a player that's better than Fred Johnson. You don't even know he's better than Fred Johnson. And I love the kid. He's a Hurricane. You aren't getting another Lane. You're looking for a good tackle. Lane is one of the best ever. Absolutely. And people are like this. There's your replacement at right tackle. I'm like, are you sure about that? A fourth or fifth round guy versus a guy who was the third pick in the draft? Are you high? What do you think? You drafted like an all-pro guy at right tackle? It's crazy. That's crazy thinking. No, he's the guy. Get this. You're hating on your own Hurricanes. Hating on my own Hurricanes for telling the truth. If you think that Bell is the replacement for Lane Johnson, you're high. That's not hating. That's reality. That's crazy to think that. You're going to replace Lane Johnson with a fifth rounder or a fourth rounder. You okay? Sills, Bell looks the part and should be the first guy off the bus. That said, I don't see him being the stretch type of tackle. Dude, I hope he's better than Fred Johnson first. So then he can get on the field and get some reps. And then that's how you can start developing the kid. He's got to get on the field. And the only way you get on the field, you got to beat that back out guy up. That's how you beat him out. That's how you get playing time. Because if he doesn't beat Fred Johnson out, he's not playing this year. It'll be another year of offensive linemen that you drafted that you saw no production out of. Seals, why do you believe now is the time that Howie decided to change the offensive scheme when this is a fabulous question. This is a fabulous question. Sills, why do you believe now is the time that Howie decided to change the offensive schemes when they were 50-18 and Jalen only 28? Your thoughts? Mr. Hill, it's a great question. Here's why. Hey, Kyle, do me a favor. Here, I'll look it up. What was the ranking of the Bengals offensive line 2025? Okay. '28th by Pro Football Focus. They were 28th ranked. Okay. I want you guys to put that in the back of your minds now. According to Pro Football Focus, they were 28th. Okay. What were they also in 24? And I'll answer that question to you, my friend. They were 30th. Okay. In the last 2 years, the Bengals, according to PFF, offensive line have been ranked 28th last year and 30th in 2024. Okay. Why do you think they're changing right now, Mr. Hill? It's simple. The offensive line is not the same. And you need a quarterback to get the football out. Guy like Joe Burrow, he covers the inefficiencies of the offensive line with a quick release. 1, 2, 3, drop. 1, 2, 3, throw. Anticipation throws. You can have, why do you think Matthew Stafford makes that offensive line look better? Because Matthew Stafford gets the ball out on time. Matthew Stafford is a guy that throws the football. So here, the Rams are 14th in 2024 in pass protection. Or overall, they were okay. And last year, they were 4th. Why? They don't have sensational guys on that O-line. Stafford gets the ball out. So as the offensive line in Philadelphia gets lesser talented, no Lane, maybe no Landon, no health with Cam Jurgens, you got to have a quarterback that can cover for the inefficiencies of the O-line. The O-line's not the same. And if the O-line doesn't come back to form, where the O-line is good in run game and in the pass game, which they had no problem. By the way, the Eagle pass protection was not an issue last year. The quarterback was. He was the issue. How could you be second in pass protection last year and the quarterback has the offense 23rd in passing? Think about that. The Eagle offensive pass protection was ranked 2nd or 3rd. And once again, it was a bottom 10 passing attack. That's the quarterback. That's the quarterback. But a good passing quarterback covers for the inefficiencies of the O-line. Guy gets it out on time. Brady went to the Super Bowl one year with the 20. I think the year they beat it, that they beat Atlanta. I think they had like the 26th ranked offensive line that year. And they won the Super Bowl because the quarterback gets the ball out on time. Hurts doesn't get the ball out on time. And as the aging offensive line and the injured offensive line, that's why you're making these changes, Mr. Hill. Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense? I mean, that is why they're going to this new scheme. Because you're not going to have the same O-line you had 3 years ago. This O-line has run its course. Okay? Here, I'll show you this here. I got another number here. Let's see here. Here. I got another one. Low ranked O-line in let's see here. Yes, the lowest ranked offensive line for Tom Brady's Super Bowl was the 2015 New England Patriots. The 2015 New England Patriots offensive line finished 31st out of 32 teams. He had the second worst offensive line when they won the Super Bowl in 15. Why? Brady could cover. Check down. Slants. Check down. Check down. Intermediate passing. Tight ends. Taking over for the run game. In 2015, when they won the Super Bowl, Brady's offensive line was 31st. Well, when you have a prolific passer, you could cover for some of the offensive line issues. That's why they're changing, Mr. Hill. Does that make sense? If you've got an on-time, hey, what was the year? Just think about this. The year they were ranked 30th. Joe Burrow did this with the 30th ranked offensive line. Okay? This shows you the greatness of Burrow. Got to have a good football team. Unfortunately, they don't believe in defense in that. So in 2024, they were ranked 30th. Joe Burrow threw for 5,000 yards, 43 touchdowns, and 9 picks in 460 completions, had a 652 attempts, and was 70%, and averaged 290 yards passing with the 30th worst offensive line. You make that make sense. That's why the greatness of Burrow. Burrow can take a shitty O-line and make a shitty O-line have one of the most prolific offenses because he's that guy. Hurts had the second best pass protecting offense last year, and they were still 23rd. That tells you all you need to know. The Eagles were second in pass protection. Second. And the offense still was 23rd. Burrow had the 30th worst O-line, and he threw for $5,000. That's all you need to understand about that. Burrow will give you 7 really good games till injured. That's a factor. There's no question about it. Okay? There is no question. Cincinnati, crazy GM, get their defense right. They could do damage. They don't ever going to do anything because they're never going to spend money, dude. The Bengals will never win a Super Bowl as long as the Brown family owns that team. They don't spend money. Plain and simple. There's no other reason. Okay? Listen to this. Burrow is very overrated for a guy who can't stay healthy every year. Dude. Now, if you're tying health in to that conversation, that's not a wild take. But as a skill set, bro, he's a better passer from the pocket than Mahomes. Bruce Arians has come in here and told you that. I know, you know more than Bruce. No quarterback is going to stay healthy when the game plan is throw deep with garbage O-line. They're simply dumb. Shooter, think about that. The Cincinnati Bengals in the last 2 years have had the 28th and 30th worst O-line, and Burrow's hurt. That's on the Bengals, dude. That's on Duke Tobin not being given money and being allowed to build the team. Like I said, every organization is not given the same toolbox. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't get to use the trading deadline or off-season free agency. They never do because the Glazers are cheap. The Bengals, they never use all the tools in the toolbox. John Schneider in Seattle and Howie get the opportunity to do that. And that's why they can build teams. Not every organization, dude, is the same. I know. You know what? How come this guy hasn't won? If you have to ask that question, you're not very smart as a football guy if you've got to ask that question. Anybody who does this, where are the Super Bowls? When you make a comment like that, then you really don't understand the NFL and how the NFL's run. And you never will. Okay? You never will. The Jets, the Browns, the Cardinals, they're not on the same page. Everything's not even. There's like 5 to 7 owners who really want to win. Yeah, Sills. It also means his receivers get open fast too. Misleading information here. Guy, his receivers get open. So you're telling me you believe that Jamar Chase and T. Higgins were better than A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith? If you believe that, okay. Okay. Talk about a team, but the same team best Mahomes and made it to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow is a serial killer. We can't have that in the Eagles. bad optics. Joe Burrow is a great quarterback. Imagine not being able to find AJ on a hitch route quickly. Correct. Hurts is terrible reading defenses. Seals, in your opinion, if Hurts and AJ mended the relationship, would AJ still have been traded? We're going to get to a topic here with that. Okay? We're going to get to a topic with that. No. Because AJ, it's more about it. Donnell, I don't think it's all about relationship. I think it's also about legacy. So I'm starting to think Howie ran Stoutland out of here. I think Stoutland ran himself out a lot. I think it's 50-50. We're still talking about AJ? No, we're not. Joe has an elite skill set, but I don't want because he can't stay healthy. That's not terrible. That's not terrible. It's not. Okay? All right. So, I'm going to answer the question. I believe that the owner believes more in the scheme. If one had to go, Hurts or the coach, who do you think they'd want to work with? I think Nick. You bring all these new changes in, and you're going to blow it up in 7 months? A knee-jerk reaction? You're going to make 2 of them? Get rid of Hurts and Sirianni? No way. I don't think it's both. I think it's one or the other. And in my opinion, I think they'll move off the quarterback before they move off the coach. They can work with the coach. And the general manager, in my opinion, believes he has a Super Bowl roster. He may not have a Super Bowl coach or a quarterback with what they're going to try to accomplish, but he doesn't believe, or he would give him a contract extension. Dude, money talks. Money talks. You know that comment, bullshit walks? Money talks. If I believe in you, here's your money. If I don't believe in you, you don't get the money. It's that simple. Jalen will forever be scrutinized just as much as praised. And never stop even after he retires. Dude, I don't give a shit about the guy either way. Good. Beef up defensive line and the O-line. Burrow is elite. People forget how good he is. Okay, let's go to another topic here. Guys, hit the like button. Appreciate all of you here. Thank you. So, all right. Got rid of AJ. Got rid of AJ Brown. Well, the year that Josh Allen got rid of Stephon Diggs, he won an MVP award. When they got rid of Tyreek Hill in Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes won 3 straight AFC championships and two Super Bowls and 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Will Hurts have a career year this year? Mahomes had a career year. Allen had a career year. Will Jalen? Yes, career year. Will Hurts have a career year this year? Allen did when they got rid of Stephon Diggs. Mahomes did. He threw for $5,000 and won a Super Bowl. So you're expecting a career year. Okay? Hopefully. Jalen will have a career year. Let's get the expectations. I'd love it. Career year, but probably not in a good way. Okay? Will Jalen Hurts have a career year throwing the football in Philadelphia and change the narrative that he needs a loaded team around him in 2026? Yes or no? If Hurts has a career year, man, it should be chained to the link. Gotcha. Okay? You tell me. Will Jalen Hurts change the narrative? 2026. That he needs a loaded team to win games? No. Career year. I plead the fifth. Smart. It's too big of a learning curve to figure out a scheme in 2 months. Now you're thinking. We shall see. Solid take. Before Saquon got here, he was just some average running back. As soon as he's paired with Hurts, it turns into a super team. Dude, you haven't been a super team. You weren't a super team last year. That was a super team? Getting beat by what? That 49ers super team? Eagles trade Nolan Smith, 26th third rounder to Arizona for Josh Sweat, and their 26th fourth round pick per source in Phoenix. Yeah, okay. Purdy's still learning, and he had one coordinator the whole time. Right, he's still learning. But he's got the same voice in his ear. Please don't mention super team. Thank you. Burrow is elite, but unfortunately he made the glass, always injured. Can't dispute that, my friend. Passing over 3,800 yards usually means you're playing from behind. Like here, so when like Mahomes threw for 5,400 yards, they were playing from behind when he won the Super Bowl, right? Got it. If he has a career year, he will definitely change the narrative, but that's a hope, and hope is not a strategy. Sills, I'd rather be thinking like the Rams get Burrow. There's not a quarterback in the next 3 drafts close to him. Dude, right, Kyle. I don't see any guy in the draft that the Eagles are going to go, let's develop that guy. There's not one quarterback that I would draft if I were the Eagles in the next 3 drafts that I would go like this. I want you to take over my team. I'm going to go find somebody that's in the NFL right now, and I'm going to go get a Sam Darnold guy, pay $30 million, build my roster up. Here, let's do this. Would you rather have an elite roster or an elite quarterback? Okay, what would you rather have? An elite roster or an elite quarterback? Steals 30 TDs, 7 picks, 3,200 yards, but he has 12 rushing. Will that be good enough? If you think that's a career year, I'm not sure the Eagles will look at that as a career year. I don't think the Eagles will look at that. By the way, Sam Darnold showed you and Jalen Hurts showed you the last 2 years. You don't have to be great at that position to win a Super Bowl. The guy won a Super Bowl with 2,900 passing yards and 18 touchdowns. You don't have to be a great player at that position to win a Super Bowl. Sam Darnold showed you too. Mac Jones would be a very good fit in this Mannion offense. Absolutely, he would be. Let's see here. We don't want to be like Dallas. What, a shitty GM? We need at least an Aikman-type quarterback. That's like Joe Flacco, dude. Joe Flacco and Troy Aikman, to me, they're a lot alike. Sills, here's a real question. Which veteran quarterback can Howie grab and pay $30 to $40 million and free up money for other positions without having a drop in success? If I had to pick a quarterback that you wouldn't have a drop in success, Brock Purdy's the perfect guy to run that offense. I guarantee you, if the coaches in Philadelphia would rather have Brock Purdy running that offense than Jalen Hurts, because he does the things they want. West Coast style, spreads the ball around, is great at throwing across the middle of the field. I mean, Brock Purdy attacks the middle of the field because Kyle Shanahan attacks the middle of the field. They don't ever really attack the perimeter. Why? Because they got McCaffrey and Kittle. Those are inside the hash mark players. Common sense. Use some common sense. If you want to attack the middle of the field, San Francisco attacks the middle of the field. They use Kittle and McCaffrey. And that's why you're seeing more catches from Barkley so far in OTAs. Barkley's being thrown the ball because they want him to play like McCaffrey. That's what they want. I'll take any quarterback who can read a football field over a quarterback who can't. And you would get him on a third rounder, and the money he's making now, you wouldn't have to pay Mac Jones $30, $40 million. Danelle, in all honesty, Sills, I believe Howie wants to see if Jalen could be the reason they win, like Allen and Mahomes before the contract. Yeah. Yes. Purdy has some good player development in SC. Purdy has some good player development in CSC. I'm not sure what that is. In Santa Clara, where the 49ers are? He went to Iowa State, so I don't know. I don't know what you mean, SC. That's two different play styles, isn't it? Yeah, completely. And the one play style you're going to is Brock Purdy's play style. Seals, did you, what Brandon Ayuk said? He could tell them small-ass little boys said they're afraid to release to Washington because belt to ass would happen. Brandon Ayuk would go to Washington. I saw that cryptic tweet or something he had out and all that BS. Okay. Sills, any Jalen Carter news? I haven't heard anything. People told me they're going to be a contract and there's going to be an extension before training camp. Let's see if that happens. By the way, I was told all those players you let go, you were doing it because you had to pay Jalen Carter. Okay? Let's see if they pay him. They said they were. I say elite quarterback. We all think Kyle Shanahan is a great coach. He also had great teams, but due to having an average quarterback, he's 0-2 in Super Bowls. I saw an average quarterback win a Super Bowl last year. Unless you think Sam Darnold's elite. Seals, the Eagles will need a balanced attack. The health of the O-line and their continuity playing in this new scheme will dictate the quarterback and running back success. Dude, but Hill, this is why when you have a passing quarterback, if the offensive line is not that hot, get the ball out quicker. How come Jalen couldn't adapt to that last year? And by the way, the passing attack wasn't a problem. The passer was. Get this. Think about this. Okay? The offensive line was second in pass protection. Both receivers had 1,000 yards, but yet the unit was 23rd. That's not that hard to figure out, is it? Sam Darnold has been impressive the last 2 years. Good on him. Yeah. I believe 3-1 in the playoffs with an NFC title, Super Bowl. And he's 28-6. That's insane. On 2 different teams. What's his overall record now? 28-6, 3-1. He's 31-7. This guy's won 31 of 38 football games in the last 2 years. 31 of 38 games. And he's 3-1 in the playoffs. And he's average. The Eagles are very aware of what Hurts is by now. The divorce has begun. None of these new changes are for Hurts. They know damn well he's gone. Typical Eagle front office indirectness. Yeah, a little bit. Darnold blows. It just goes to show you mid-quarterbacks win with good rosters. Okay, that's a way to look at it. That's a way to look at it. Okay. Seals, what are we talking about? This is what Stowers needs to learn how to block because Goddard will miss games. Hey, Donnell. So you're bringing a guy in to play tight end and develop him as a blocker, and he doesn't have that skill set in the NFL, he'll never develop that. Kyle Pitts has never developed it. Kyle Pitts is a better player. Kyle Pitts has never developed into being a blocker in Atlanta, and he's a better ball player. Why would Stowers develop into being a good blocker? Like, based on what? That's not who he is. This guy's a pass-catching guy. Okay? And this is kind of more it, too. He doesn't have the physical skill set to look like that. Jimmy Graham, dude, was 6'8" or 6'7". Hey, I'm not ripping you, dude. How big was here? Stowers Eagles. How big is the kid? Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham was 65 pounds, and he was 6'7". He's nowhere in that room, Stowers. That guy's 6'7", 270. Stowers is not that guy. Stowers has never taken a snap in the NFL, but has no shot in the NFL, I guess. Who said that? Who said that? Who said he has no shot in the NFL? People are comparing him to Jimmy Graham. Yeah, I don't think so. I think so. I think Jimmy Graham's a Hall of Fame player. I do. I say that because we rely on online blocking. Yeah. How big is Stowers? Guys in here comparing him with Jimmy Graham, a 6'7", 270-pound guy. Stowers, Eagles. Let's see here. How big is the kid? He's 6'4", he's 235. Not awful for that position. 6'4", 235? That's not terrible. But online blocking? Dude, you better have some rocks in your pocket. You think Bell replaces Lane this year or next? Man, that is a huge That's a huge thought process that you think that a 4th or 5th round guy is going to replace a dude who was the 3rd pick in the draft. Man, my expectations on that is not that. I mean, Lane Johnson was a 1st round pick. He was a top 5 pick in a draft. And you think he's going to replace him with a 4th rounder? Man, that's a lot. Hey, I'm pulling for him, of course. Here's the thing right here. You got to hope that Bell beats out Fred. That's when you know you got somebody. Taking reps and having him in there for Lane is crazy thinking. If he beats out Fred, that's a win for Howie. And maybe that conversation of him potentially replacing Lane could be that. If he gets more reps than Fred, that means he got developed. And if he does, like I'm awake, if he does turn into that swing tackle, if Bell turns into the swing tackle in 2026, that's a grand slam pick. Because that means he got reps when Lane came out or Mulata came out. And that's the guy that Chris Cooper went to. That's a win. And maybe 2 years, he's your starting right offensive tackle. Then yes. But if he don't beat Lane, if he don't beat Fred out, he's going to sit on the bench. And the only development he's going to get is in practice on a scout team. You got to hope that that guy beats Fred out. Dude, you see this comment? He's all ready to swing tackle in helmets and shorts. Okay? Well, let's see when they get into football games. How can a guy have won a job in helmets and shorts? Fred knows what they're doing out there. You mean to tell me a guy's never played a pro down? You're giving that job to him? We'll see. We'll see who they put him out there. Third round, okay? That's a better pick. 3rd round, he's got to be Fred out. Remember the hype around Cornelius Ingram coming out of college? I do. Still, everyone talking about Lane's replacement. I'm worried about Landon's replacement because I believe this year could be his last. How about this? All those guys that you've been here. Let's go over here for a minute. It's a great take. It's a great take. By the way, that Sorsby deal, is insane. It's insane. Get this. Sorsby and the Eagles have an interest in this guy. You ready for this? This is how he got reinstated to Texas Tech. I saw the lawsuit. Check it out. A judge in Lubbock County. I don't know why the NCAA in their stupidity would even go to battle in Lubbock County in Texas. You knew the injunction was going to go in favor of the Red Raiders. Here's what it said. If he can't play in 2026, it's irreparable harm because he can't pay and get his nil, and that the school would sue him. The judge said he's got an obligation because of his nil. The nil got him off the hook from gambling. And the judge said, hey, he won't make his $6 million if he's not granted eligibility. And the school will sue him for the $6 million, and there's harm there. The NCAA couldn't prove that. Kid got his eligibility back. He's going to be a first-round pick. He'll be a first-round pick. Stills training my clients in New York City is already insane. Only solace I have as a Sixer fan is Brunson, Bridges, Towns are longtime Bird fans. Dude, New York City, I'm sure, is off the charts right now. Is that Sorsby a go-good? How would he be in Philly? He's a spread offense guy. Now, my problem would be this. You're on the 10-yard line. Guy throws a pick to Baylor this year. I don't know how you're not going to think the guy's throwing game. I don't know how they're going to get around that. It's definitely not a joking matter, Trey. No disrespect to you, but I'm not for the warrior victim thing. Not my cup of tea. Supplemental draft if it doesn't go back. If he doesn't go back. That supplemental draft, man, it rarely works. It was a really tough putt for me. They got the Garden blocked off for 5-block radius. Trump coming tonight. Hey, listen, the president going to the game tonight, I love it. I don't give a shit about his politics. The more celebrities you have at an event like that makes the event bigger. There'll be more eyeballs on it. This will be one of the most anticipated moments at Madison Square Garden in 60 years. I can't think of one. Stone's going and performing there. WWE. I can't think of a bigger event than watching the Knicks tonight. 2-0 in the lead. Okay? 2-0 lead. Seal Sorsby broke the one unbreakable rule. He bet on his own team. The NCAA should be disbanded. This is the only time I've ever said this. I'm on the NCAA side on this. I mean, it basically opens up these players to do whatever they want and lean on nil. Not a fan of how they treated Sean Strickland. I feel bad for Knick fans that be out in front. They can't have watch parties or nothing nearby because Trump is going to be there. That's kind of a suck ass thing. It is, Dion. Knick fans have been waiting 53 years for something like this. I can't believe they're 2-0. I can't believe it. You know, even the Riley team and the 99 Van Gundy team, I never really thought they were going to win the NBA championship. I think they're going to win it. I think they're going to win it. Think it's a joke. Sil. know that he ain't gonna read mine. Keep y'all hope alive. Knicks will be the Atlanta Falcons soon enough. Spurs come back and win. Wemby has to develop a post game because he's getting himself exposed. Cat's running by his ass. What up, Sills? I'm late to the show. Hope you had a great weekend. I did. I hope you had a great one yourself, my friend. Okay. Let's see here. Guys, do me a favor. Let's get the likes up, man. I appreciate you very much. Seals, what do you think about Saban bitching to Congress? I think he's a hypocrite. I think Saban got ran out of college football because he didn't want to start paying student athletes. When he realized players wanted to get paid and not just come play for him, Nick couldn't deal with that fact. And that's why the Texas schools are starting to really shine. Texas schools are going to be all over the place soon because of the money they spend. And Nick didn't want to pay. Then he turns around and he says, well, college needs to intervene. What do you mean college needs to intervene? Or Congress needs to intervene. To do what? You'll get your ass kicked also in court. I happen to agree with Feinbaum. I think Saban's a hypocrite. One hand he's telling me one thing over here about how great the kids are, how great all this is all about them. When the money comes for the kids, Nick don't want to do it. Who do you think generates all this money, Saban? The kids. This is a player sport. But in college football, it's a coach's sport. That's why in the NFL, it's a player sport. NBA, it's a player sport. The only place that's not the case is in college. These bullshit artist coaches try to tell you it's about the players. No, it ain't. It's about the coaches. The coaches are the one making all the dough. They're the ones that no one ever bitched about. They're the ones that can do this. If I want to fucking go and coach at Notre Dame and I want to leave, I could go and coach LSU. No problem. All the bullshit you told my family about you being here. Okay? I mean, not for me, man. Either get with it. Genie's out of the bottle, bro. Trying to put the genie back in the bottle. Yeah, okay. Fucking nutbags. Trying to tell me, hey, I'm so happy these kids are getting paid. I think it's wonderful. They should pay more. These kids should be making more. I'm not one of them old dudes. Hey, what happened to college sports? What happened to college sports? Come on, man. Wake up. Here's my problem with Saban. He had no problem when he had all the top recruits, buried guys on the roster. Then transfer portal comes. Yeah, he got tired of like having to recruit his own guys. And once that happened, guys are not. Dude, if I went to Alabama and I'm sitting behind Mark Ingram or Derrick Henry and I'm Alvin Kamara, I'm not fucking sitting there either. You couldn't keep my team together at Miami. You couldn't have Russell, Maryland, Cortez Kennedy, and Warren Sapp behind everybody. You think you're going to keep those guys? Miami couldn't keep those teams together. No way. I would leave. Guy came to me and I'm sitting behind a guy at Miami and I'm sitting behind someone and someone goes, I'm going to offer you $700,000 to come play at Ole Miss. You bet your ass I'm leaving. I'm fucking sitting around for that. Eagles have a lot of O-line talent to replace. Stoutland was a huge part of identifying and developing those players. Can Howie keep finding elite O-linemen if Stoutland eventually moves on? That'll be a question. That'll be, listen, him being around Stoutland, I'm sure he picked shit up on the tendencies and traits. Wide receiver Wicks knows Mannion's system and should hit the ground running to begin camp and have a nice 26 season. Add his and Lemon's production together, I think they'll get close to AJ and what he did a year ago. Yeah, but you won't replace his presence. So you think there's a better way to handle it? Yes, pay the players, but they shouldn't be incentivized in college to stay in college after 4 years. Something should change with the portal. Curtis, let me ask you this. If I'm playing at Mississippi State, okay? I'm playing at Mississippi State. I'm making $700,000 as a starter the last 2 years. A NFL talent scout comes to me and says, you're probably going to go in the 4th or 5th round. There's a chance I might not make that team. And I have another shot to go and try to get a medical hardship year and make another $800,000, have another year of eligibility, and enhance maybe my shot at getting drafted in the following draft. Kids are going to take that one. Instead of taking the dart being thrown in the dark, maybe I make the Eagles. I'm staying in school. Kirby's doing the same, trying to secede from the NC2A. I saw that. Let me tell you the worst thing that would ever happen to college sports for the old team, for teams like Temple and some of these other programs. If the Big Ten and the Southeastern Conference ever come together and merge, it's over. Those smaller programs like Temple, you could close up shop. Why are you playing? For what? Consolation prizes? If you're not playing for something, what the hell do it? And why do it? Put your money in the hoop. They're not running a lot of 11 personnel, so how much is Lemon even going to be on the field? My question is going to be, well, Lemon's hurt, right? So you're not going to see him till training camp. So he's not on the field running these routes. Is that a thing? A little bit. There's only so much chalkboard work you can do. Hurts a little bit. Yeah, it does. Because what you want to do is teach the kid, and you want him to go on the field later and apply it. He can't apply it. And he won't be able to apply it really until the start of the season. Not going to do shit in training camp. They don't hit. It's good that college players are making money because some of them get injured and are never able to play in the NFL. Well, here, 255 guys get drafted a year. And over 7,500 players apply for the NFL draft and are eligible for the NFL draft. You figure it out. Why the hell would I go into trying to be an NFL guy when here, let me get that number right. How many players, college players, are eligible each year for the NFL draft? How many college players, football players are eligible for the NFL draft each year? Okay. So there's 250 guys that you have. Okay. And the majority of the time, there's like 7,000 to 8,000 guys that are eligible to get drafted. I mean, think about it. Well, here, I got one for you. Let's just do it this way. There's like 137 Division I. There's like 137 Division I, and this is only counting seniors. So there's 137 times, let's see, so you're talking about kids in Division One, Division One AA, juniors and sophomores. You're talking like 4,000 kids are eligible, and 255 only get drafted. 250 guys get drafted. Hollywood Brown is a scrap heap wide receiver. Yeah, I mean, I know every. Seals, can you ask Jimbo Culver when general manager said Marino was a party guy and used drugs? That was the rumor. That was the rumor at Pitt why he fell. Marino had more picks his senior year at Pitt than his junior year. And it was a conversation that Marino did a rumor that he did drugs his senior year at Pitt. So, yes. Well, it's one of the reasons he dropped. It's not like those TV deals are for people to watch AD sit in meetings. The players make the NCAA so much profitable. They owed that money. Hey, band, for decades. I said this like 25 years ago. If they came out and paid freshmen $100 a month or a week, sophomores $200, juniors $300, seniors $400, red shirts $500. Paid them a week. You paid that kind of money, you wouldn't be in this situation because you would have started at least understanding and IDing the fact that these kids should be making some money. But they don't want to do that. So now, genie's out of the bottle. Now they're getting their asses handed to them. They're losing lawsuits left and right. Trinidad Chambliss won his case. Sorsby just won his case. The NCAA has no teeth, man. And now they're getting the shit kicked in. Rightfully so. All the years of taking advantage of kids and treating them like cattle, it's about time. It is. It's about time. All right. So, let me ask you about Devontae Smith. Okay, let me go here with Devontae. Here, let me answer this Canes question first. So, how many players from your Canes team got drafted your final year? Let's see here. Let me hold on for a second. Let's see here. Good question. 1987 NFL draft. Okay. So we had the first pick in the draft with Vinny. We had the third pick in the draft with Alonzo. We had the 9th pick in the NFL with Jerome. We had the 32nd pick in the NFL for Greg Riccozzi, offensive lineman. We had the 49th pick with Winston. We had the 56th player taken was me. 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that we had Paul O'Connor go in the 4th. That's 7. And I think off that, my 86 team, I think we had 11 get drafted that year. Now, remember something. There were 12 rounds then, back in the day. There's only 5 today. So, there's like, okay, Sales, just think of nil money you and Jerome would have pocketed. Here, I'll tell people this flat out. I made probably my 2 years at UM. My first year, I didn't make very much. But my final 2 years at UM, I probably made 50 grand in cash. And I had a free house. I had a free car. I had free, like I could go to restaurants, certain restaurants in the city, anywhere I wanted. Like I could go to Joe's Crab Shack house. I could go to the Fountain Blue. I could go to the Mayfair Center. I could go down to Coconut Grove. And I had these cards that I could use if I wanted to go and take my family, girlfriend, whatever. I could stay at I had free room at the Fountain Blue. They follow me on Twitter. They're dear friends of mine still to this day. I'd go up to the 14th floor. I had a room there. And on weekends, I would stay there. My folks would come in. We went to the Mayfair Center. Mr. DeBartolo owned it. And then my last year at UM, I made $75,000 in cash. Pretty much the same stuff, but I got a Corvette instead of driving around. And my year before, I had a Duster. The year after that, I had a Corvette. 3 miles on it. Crazy great. You were driving that Norman Brayman special. Absolutely, I was. Norman comes down and goes like this. You two come see me. You guys will love this. So Norman's at practice. Right after practice, Norman Brayman. He goes, you two guys come see me. That's what I told you. Buddy Ryan came down. He goes, I want you to meet Coach Ryan. Okay. Hey, Coach, how you doing? You two guys come with me. He went up there for a whole week and coached us. After that week, Norman Brayman saw us on Friday. I went over. I think Jerome got a Grand National. Zander's going to love this car. Zander, do me a favor. Google Grand National. My Corvette, I thought was going to be faster than the Grand National, and it beat me. And Jerome got the Grand National. He loved fast cars. And he goes like this, Sileo, you want to race? I go, I got a Corvette. I'm going to kick his ass. And this was like a sedan. I'm fucking looking over at this going, I'm going to kill this guy. That thing took off, man. It had a big block engine in it, and he whipped my ass in that car. I could not believe how fast that Grand National was. Holy shit. The biggest surprise of my entire life. That thing was insane. All right. Without further ado, every time I talk to Z, he's talking to like John Tortorella. I mean, he's talking to like Stan Van Gundy. He's hanging out down there on the beach, and these guys are coming around him. It's crazy. Without further ado, my friend, Big Z, Zander Krause, joins us now. How you doing, brother?
What's up, Sills? How you doing, brother?
Hey, dude, your brother up in New York?
Yeah, what?
Is he like, what's he thinking of next?
With the game tonight. Oh, yeah. He's not a big basketball guy, but there's definitely a lot going on in the city. I think his new office is moving a little bit away from there, more toward Brooklyn, but they didn't move into it yet. So I got to reach out to him and see what the city's like. I haven't talked to him today, but I will reach out to him. I forgot to reach out to him about it.
Bro, this thing's going to be off the charts tonight.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
yeah, it is.
I can't remember the NBA ever having an appointment-setting game like this. You know, the NFL dominates. Hey, by the way, game one at 16 million people watching. Folks, just to put that in context, that's a normal Georgia-Tennessee game.
Yeah.
So, that's a normal Georgia-Tennessee game, Zander.
I think the New York Knicks win that series.
Wow.
And I think the Vegas Golden Knights win over in the hockey series. If anybody's watching that, that's some good.
It is wild, great.
That is some good hockey. If you're on, I think it was Friday night or Saturday night. I forget what day they played. The Knights go up 4-0. Carolina storms back with 4 straight unanswered in the third period. Then it goes to double overtime, and a fluky-ass goal ends it in double overtime. That was an amazing game, too. But I like Torts, so I'd like to see Torts win it.
Me too, man. 20-year gaps between the last time he won the Cup when he was with the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yep.
And he become the 8th coach ever to take over a team midway through and win a Stanley Cup. All right, Z. So let me set this question up here for you. And this isn't the topic, but this is going to go into the topic. You agree if they were really thinking that this was going to be a process to learn a new offense, wouldn't it make sense to send the tea leaves out to potential free agents over the next couple of years? Hey, the Eagles are going to a pro-style offense, and here's the quarterback getting a 3-year contract extension so that everybody out there can see that, hey, this is going to be a process. We may not win a Super Bowl. We may win it. I don't know. Wouldn't that make more sense? And with all the changes that they've made, wouldn't you want to think that the organization would be committed to what they're doing? Because are you telling me in 7 months, if this doesn't work, they're ripping it up in 7 months, all of it?
Well, I mean, you still got to build a team, while all of this is happening. I mean, what's the alternative?
No.
Mail it in until they know?
No, I'm not. No, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying they're going to blow Nick out. I'm saying they're going to continue. You have some of your criticisms about the Eagles are they don't sit around and develop a coordinator. They're quick to react. Well, fuck, dude. If you want to build a true offense like this is not going to be overnight. I think people think that this is going to be a 3-month process.
Dude, there's a lot of expectations. This is where I sometimes disagree with you. And many of the people listening, I think we're putting too much stock in the coaching. The players have to play well. There's 5 offensive linemen returning. The quarterback is returning. The running back is returning. The wide receiver is returning. The tight end is returning. Is it all on Sean Mannion to turn the thing around? Is there no expectation on the players to take it amongst themselves to play better offense?
No. I think they're going to change half that roster out in the next 2 years.
Well, they might have to if they don't play well. But you're talking about this year.
Hey, that's a great take because now I'm going to make this land. One, I don't think the quarterback's going to do it. And secondly, I think the next 2 years, you're going to change half that roster out.
Well, that some of that will probably be, just circumstance and the way that it goes when players age, which I understand. But, I get your point. To me, the offense has to perform, and it doesn't. Will there be growing pains for Sean? Absolutely. But you can't, that is not the end all be all excuse. How many years did Clint Kubiak call plays in Seattle?
Okay, well, he could make those changes with that offense because the quarterback was the style that he is familiar with.
Well, that's a whole separate problem, though.
Well, well, if I'm going to do something different, I want the quarterback to be doing something different that I'm doing. I don't want to be doing this. Jalen ran this offense for 5 years, but I'm over here. These are 2 different people mentality-wise on how to win games. Mannion has a completely different way of looking on how to play the game than Hurts does.
I agree with that. I am not entering this season with a pre-built excuse for the offense's inefficiency to be put on Sean Mannion. I don't care whether he's a first-year play caller or not. I think people are already creating that, and I don't believe that should be, the blame. Well, of course, they love to have a scapegoat. That's what the organization loves, and the fan base loves it too. By the way,
absolutely.
So I'm not approaching this season with that. The success of the offense is going to come down to the players on the field and how well they're able to play. If the passing game sucks, again, is everybody going to say, "Oh, well, it's Sean Mannion's fault. It has nothing to do with Jalen Hurts"? Are we going to have the 3rd year of that?
Folks in here will.
Well, and I'm telling them right now that they'll be delusional. And they'll probably call me a hater or whatever they call me. I don't know. but that's a fact.
Okay.
Nobody goes to any other place where they talk. All these same people love to put Jalen Hurts in the elite conversation, and then they refuse to hold them to the standards that are placed upon people with the elite label. I don't hear anybody giving excuses for Josh Allen and coaches here and coaches there and Patrick Mahomes losing Tyreek Hill and coordinators. The players have to play well. If they go out and play well, Sean Mannion will look great. If they don't play well, Sean Mannion will look horrible. There's obviously a degree to which Sean can help or hurt them, but to me, it's not all on him.
Well, here's your point, Z. You think Andy Reid was any lesser of a coach last year? Or was the performance of the Chiefs down? I think the performance of the Chiefs were down.
Oh, Andy's earned that in the perspectives of viewers that, Andy, he's earned that. So yeah, that's fair. But
here's another one. When Belichick had Cam Newton at the end of his career versus Tom Brady, you think Belichick is going to be as good without Brady? Not having elite guys like that? No. That's a drop in talent.
I did watch Tom Brady go to Tampa Bay.
No. My point is that he had lesser talent in New England. Right? I mean, Belichick had a lesser quarterback, did he not?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's always variables. I'm not trying to say that the variables aren't a factor. I just think the bigger factor to me is you got what is it? 10 of the offensive players are returning, right?
Yeah. Last year he had 11.
A lot of guys coming back. People are you already seeing in the chat? People have already pre-built. If the offense fails, Sean Mannion will be the scapegoat.
Correct.
And he'll be another guy that you scapegoat. I'm not going to go down that road. Just like I don't believe Kevin Patullo was all that great, but I certainly don't believe he was the reason that they couldn't pass the ball in a half of football.
Bro, there's no doubt. There is no question that guy already it's hit or miss right now. So all that being said, that wasn't really the topic. Do you believe that Eagles front office and ownership have more faith in this new scheme or Hurts?
Well, it should be the quarterback. And if it's not the quarterback, then
give him a contract extension.
I agree, but I mean, it's fair to wait. You can believe in somebody and wait for them to earn their next contract. That's fine to me.
He hasn't earned it?
Not when you have two. No, not when you have two sub passing years and you're changing the scheme.
So then winning is not part of the evaluation here.
Well, it's what you've been saying. To your credit, it's what you've been saying for years.
I know.
I said this morning on the morning show. Seemingly, folks have a hard time differentiating team success and individual success. When you are writing a contract for somebody or giving a contract extension to somebody, that is based on your individual talent, performance, and what you bring to the table. It is not based or off of or gauged on the team success. To some degree it is, but not nearly as much as your individual. So Jalen has to be better individually if he wants to get that contract. The team has been super successful, sure. But I mean, you can make an argument why they're firing anybody. Why did Kevin Patullo get fired? They won 11 games, right, everybody? I mean, isn't that the same thing? Well, they won 11 games. Why would they fire the offensive coach? Well, because the offense sucked.
Go with me here too. Okay, well, if that's the case, and I agree with you, and this has kind of been my point the last few years with this. Okay, so do you believe that the Philadelphia Eagles think that they have a way of winning? And in their mindset, everyone else is expendable. But if you look at the front office, 17, 18, 19 years, 17, 18, 19 years, you look at the coaches, what coach on that coaching staff right now has been in Philadelphia for 5 or more years? There's only 2.
Well, Nick now, right?
Nick,
the
running back and receiver coach.
I was going to say, and then Singleton, right? Jamal Singleton, the running back coach.
The rest of them have been under 5 years.
Even defensive side, right?
Even Vic.
Yeah. Well, I think part of that is turnover.
But look at the front office. Yeah, but look at the front office. 17 years, 18 years, 19 years. The point is I'm making here, they believe they have a way of doing things coaches and players are expendable, dude. And that's why I think the scheme to them, what they're trying to accomplish now, is more important than Hurts. Look, you don't move up 3 spots to get a wideout. You don't have and sign all these guys. You don't bring in Sean Mannion. If you're not trying to develop something for the next couple years and moving forward and saying, hey, guess what? If it fucking hits the iceberg 7 months from now, we're blowing everything up. I think they believe in what they're doing because we've said this. They believe in what they think how you win games more so than players. Do you not agree with that? No matter if it's Jalen Hurts or Carson Wentz.
Yeah, but there's been variance in that. I mean, why did they go to in 24? Why did they blow Kellen Moore's what he was trying to run out and change it completely into something that the organization doesn't want?
Because I think they fell into that. When they signed Barkley,
yeah,
bro, they never signed Barkley.
The only way to fall into it is
they never brought Barkley into that team thinking he was going to be the centerpiece engine that was going to take that team to a Super Bowl. There's no way.
But they did allow it to happen. You know, they did. They might have fell into it by circumstance, but they did allow it to go there, which would show you that they have some flexibility in the way you get to the end goal.
How many teams would move off of their star quarterback and say, let's go with the back? I want to show you the arrogance because, and I'm not saying the Eagles are wrong, but Zander, you brought Derrick Henry into Baltimore. And in my opinion, I think the greatest mistake they made was sticking with Lamar Jackson in the postseason and not handing the ball more to Lamar.
Yeah.
So to your point, they did pivot and they stuck to it. I think other teams, I think Baltimore made a mistake by not sticking with. He had 1,900 yards. You know the year that Barkley had 2005? He had 1964. And he was a couple yards off of going for the most yards that year.
Yeah.
He had a great year. And
then
what happened? They get into the NFC title game. They throw the ball 38 times. I'm like, what? Hand the freaking ball off, dude. You're going to win by
yeah, right.
They got away from that.
No, I agree with that. And look, this is – it does feel like they're in a little bit more of not uncharted territory, but a different type of season right now, or off season, I should say, for this Eagles team because of all the schematic change that they're bringing in. But, you know, I'm just telling you where I stand. Me personally, I can only speak for myself. I'm not building a pre-built excuse right now for this offense on Sean Mannion. Obviously, he has an impact on how good they play, but they can't go through another season of underperforming and then everybody again just bails on or just blames the coordinator again. To me, that's I don't think that's a good way.
It's getting old. It's old now,
right? And look, we've gone through that a couple times,
yeah.
So that's also part of the circumstance where all right, we did this before. Now it's like, all right, we've kind of gotten to the point where we've fired coaches. We've done what we've wanted. You know what I mean? It's time for them to show up, you know, and they have to have that burden. They have to bear that responsibility because that's part of being a great player is you have those responsibilities.
Okay, here's another one. With all this being said, isn't this a great chance for Hurts to kill the narrative that he needs a loaded team to win?
I guess. I mean, I've never viewed that as much of a knock on Hurts as opposing fan bases have. I mean, like look at the Rams.
Well, that's
the
a
Rams
narrative.
Are a great team. I agree. It's definitely a narrative. I'm just saying I don't put a lot of stock in it because, dude, everybody needs a good team. I mean, Josh Allen had a 1,600-yard back last year, you know, and a good defense. You know, I mean, with the exception of Mahomes, there's really not a quarterback in the NFL right now that has great success with lesser rosters. I mean, look at Stafford. Stafford didn't win until he went to L.A. and got teamed up with a bunch of playmakers and a great coach.
He did have Megatron in Detroit.
And they didn't win shit.
Because he didn't have McVay.
Well, that's fair. I mean, that's all he had in Detroit. What else did he have there?
No,
I mean,
no.
Did they have a defense?
It was a fair old line. They had it was a horrible organization before Brad Holmes went up there.
But like even last year, like the Rams have been really good for 3 years. It's pretty fair to say they got a pretty damn good roster.
The Rams have been pretty good since McVay got there.
Yeah, I agree. They have. But I'm just saying, I don't love the whole thing of, like, to me, Jalen winning with a good roster.
Okay, well,
Good
wait.
job. You handled your business. That's what I want you to do.
Okay,
I
well,
don't
wait.
see a lot of quarterbacks, again, outside of Mahomes, that are taking mediocre rosters and making them exceptional.
Allen elevated his game when they took Stephon Diggs away to an MVP. Patrick Mahomes, once they got rid of the best player in the league and Tyreek Hill, won 3 AFC championships in a row and won 2 Super Bowls and 2 MVPs. Threw for 5,000 yards even, had a career year. You think Jalen Hurts elevates his game to have a career year this year?
I don't like to use the word career year, but I think he needs to have a really good year, and that's kind of my point. Like, I'm not coming into this season.
My point is, do you think he's going to be like the rest of these guys once they take a great player off your team? You think he's going to elevate his game?
Well, I think
change the narrative, or people look at him going, holy shit, it is him. Because did a narrative not change? You just mentioned Brady. Didn't the narrative change when Brady went to Tampa Bay?
Yeah, it did. It's certainly on obviously the Brady-Belichick conversation.
Changed it, didn't it?
For sure.
If Jalen Hurts gets that team to an NFC championship game without A.J. Brown, I think a lot of people have a little different opinion about it.
Yeah, that'll help.
Right?
That'll help them.
You'll have a little different opinion. Then you do this. Now I don't feel that fucked up not giving that guy that contract extension now. Because this guy's somebody that this offense is
I think that's definitely true. Yeah, I think that's definitely true.
Okay. Devontae Smith has 0 Pro Bowls next to his name. Does Jalen Hurts do for Devontae Smith what he did for A.J. Brown?
It's a good question. I think Devontae's ready for it. I guess I'm in a little bit of wait and see mode on how they're trying to play offense here.
And
but
for the record, I never knew that AJ would do this and be that guy, because when he was at Tennessee, dude, he was a 64 catch, 1,000-yard guy. That's pedestrian.
I know. He was never elite until he got to Philly.
No, he was never until he got to Philly, right?
Philadelphia and Jalen in many ways turned him into an elite player. There's no doubt about that.
Does Hurts do the same for Devontae Smith?
So I'm shifting a little on Devontae more to the major increase angle, not the other way, because I look at the way that the ball has been distributed in the last couple of years in Philadelphia, and with no AJ Brown out there, with a rookie who Jalen probably doesn't really trust all that much. That's been kind of a thing with Jalen. He wants to trust the receiver. Now, hopefully, they're working together this summer, but. I think Devontae might end up with 160 targets this year, dude. He had 138 in his peak year, which was 22. That was the first year of A.J. Brown.
Yeah, but then aren't you doing the same shit you've done before in the past? Now you're even becoming more
But I don't think they've gotten good enough players. That's again, this was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but now since you got rid of A.J., you're becoming more predictable by going to one guy.
Well, you got good players, dude. Did the Cowboys win 3 Super Bowls in the 90s by throwing the ball to fucking their wide receiver 3?
No, they ran the ball.
It was Emmett, it was Troy, and it was Mike.
But if you're giving 162 targets to one guy, and the other guys are getting 90,
not that much.
60, okay, 150. I don't know.
Well, 162 is a lot. I'm just saying, Jamar Chase, how many targets is he getting a year? My whole point is you can be successful to targeting a guy like that.
Man, that's a whole different QB target.
Jamar Chase got 185 targets last
year. Yeah. And he had T. Higgins on the team. And they had T. Higgins on the team.
That's a lot of targets.
How many did T. Higgins get?
85 targets.
How many did T. Higgins get?
No, my T. Higgins, I'll look it up. Give me a sec. My point in saying that, though, is a lot about I don't think the guys that they've surrounded Devontae with are going to be good enough to take big burden off. So if you have a bunch of 50 catch guys, all right, they're maybe you get 3 dudes with 50 catches or whatever. Devontae's still going to be, eating up a lot of that. All right, last year he had 98 targets.
See, that's not bad for a 2. That's like that's in the Devontae room. What's Devontae usually get? About a 111 with AJ on the field? 111,
Devontae actually had Devontae's had a pretty good share of remember because Hurts isn't he doesn't spread the ball to 3, 4, and 5 as much as others. So Devontae's had pretty good targets. He had 113 last year. He 89 and 24, but he missed 4 games. He had 112, 136, and 104. So the only time he was under 100 targets was when he missed 4 games.
Okay. Who do you think made one another? You think AJ made Jalen or Hurts made AJ?
I think they made each other. I don't think you take one guy out and you just, it is what it is. I mean, I think they helped each other. I think AJ Brown tremendously helped Jalen Hurts take the next step as a quarterback. And I think Jalen Hurts, in the same way, or the Eagles, as a team and Jalen helped AJ take the next step, to become known as a elite receiver in football. Like you just said, AJ was a good receiver in Tennessee. AJ was not in the conversation of the elite receivers. I mean, after 23 and 24, 22 and 23, he was talked about with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson for 2 years straight. So, I think they both helped each other out significantly. And I'm not going to put that on one guy to me, or on one or the other to me. I mean, I think both of them, benefited from each other. Obviously, a quarterback's going to benefit from getting a great receiver. And Jalen certainly did enough to get A.J. Brown 1,500 yards, so he deserves some credit for that too.
I think it's hard to play wide receiver in Philadelphia.
Yeah, it is. John's been saying that for 4 years. The receivers tell him it all the time.
I think it is a hard-ass job to play wide out in that offense when the quarterback really rarely throws on time. And those receivers that they have are elite. And I'm going to ask this question now. Would you rather have 2 great ones or a good core of wide receivers on your football team? Because right now I look at Eagles. I think it's a good core. I don't think it's elite like it was the last 4 years.
It's not elite. It's not elite.
But I don't think it's awful.
With Jalen Hurts, I'd prefer to have the 2 great ones. I mean, think about it. Jordan Love throws the ball 50 times to like 7 dudes. When you have that quarterback, yeah, you want to have a good group, a lot more than you want one top end guy. Jalen Hurts is, more of a dynamic playmaker style of quarterback. He doesn't, throw the ball to wide receiver 3, 4, and 5, or at least he hasn't in his career to this point that much. So you want a 1 and 2. I mean, if he's only going to focus, like I point out, think about this. So this is a crazy stat. In 22, when Jalen was runner-up in the MVP, that was the first year that A.J. Brown was in Philadelphia. Devontae Smith, as the wide receiver 2, had 136 targets. That's because the ball goes to the same spot consistently in Philadelphia. It's not a knock. It's a trait of the player that we have, of the quarterback that we have.
The trend.
Right. A.J. Brown had 145 targets that year. So 270 or 80 targets were between 2 dudes.
I'm curious with those targets that you keep bringing up. Are they going to go high volume?
I don't know that they'll go high volume, but
what Zander? What's going to be the change besides the cosmetic changes?
Well, you tell me. You tell me if you think I'm understanding this part of it wrong when it comes to volume. They're going to be high volume if their defense sucks and they're losing a lot of games. If they're not and their running game is good and they have a good defense, well, they're probably not going to be that high volume because they're going to be winning games. They're not, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's a bigger factor in how many attempts a quarterback has than the skill set of the quarterback to some extent. Dak's obviously always going to throw the ball more than Jalen, but Dak's going to throw the ball 600 times when his defense can't stop a nosebleed. You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me is a bigger factor there.
Here's why Brady threw the ball more than anyone else. Brady was not afraid of a punter. Brady would do this. Boom. Brady had high volume by throwing underneath. third down, third and short. Get this. Most of the time, when you're throwing underneath and check down passes, you're going to put your offense in this 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 4. But when you throw 3 checkdowns per series, Zander, you're going high volume with more intermediate passes with less turnover probability. Do you understand what I'm saying? Look, the less yardage, check down, 1 yard passes, check down. Brady did that one year for 700 attempts.
Yeah, that's just not Jalen's game.
Well, listen, wait a minute now. That's how you increase volume with low turnover percentage plays.
I agree.
You're playing the Brady percentage, and that would increase volume.
Yeah, but do you think that's I agree with you. Obviously, your point is completely true. It's factual. Does that make sense to play with Jalen, who's never really done that in his career because he's always had legs?
Okay.
Brady couldn't run away. So Brady got really good at when there's nothing out there, I can get the ball to the flats quickly and efficiently and effectively. Jalen never really had to do that.
I think the key to this new offense is going to be 2 players. When you look at a Kyle Shanahan offense and you look at something on how they approach, what does Purdy do? He attacks the middle of the field with CMC and with Kittle. They attack the hashes. John's been telling you, and I've been listening, damn, Barkley's getting a lot more plays in the pass game. I think to compensate for the loss of AJ, they're going to get Barkley in space more with check down passes. And listen, if the old line's not blocking at the point of attack, what's the best thing to do? Get Barkley one-on-one with a safety, dude.
Yeah, it's true. Barkley's got to catch the ball this year then.
Well, has John been saying, though, that he's been getting –
They have. Yes. And John also said Barkley looks better at it this summer. But, I mean, I don't know. Eagle fans, am my eyes defying me every time?
No.
Every time, God bless him, he's a great player. Every time I watch Saquon Barkley catch a ball, I'm holding my breath. I mean, even in the Super Bowl, he's got the ball, it's bobbling around. Oh, he got it. I'm like, oh, geez. I don't know that I'd want to throw the ball to him 60, 70 times. I don't know.
Well, listen. I think you increase
your point.
You want to increase the passing offense, Zander. The reason that I've been telling people that Hurts will never throw for 4K, it's not because he can't. It's because they don't do the passing and they don't have the scheme to throw for $4,000.
Yeah, they rely on beating your man every time, and that's not how you get up there.
They have no across-the-middle passing game, and they don't have any check-down game.
Yeah,
think about it. Jalen Hurts throws the ball for 3,000 yards to the numbers every year. That's pretty decent with no check-down game and no cross-the-middle. I mean, if the guy had any kind of game with that, he'd throw for 4,500 yards every game.
Yeah,
every year.
You're right. I mean, this is where I struggle with using Brady as an excuse. Not an excuse, as an example, because, Curtis says here, he says, has anyone ever been better than Brady at taking what the D gives him and being able to pass 10 times in a drive without mistakes?
Yeah, Montana did that.
I know, but you're using Montana and Brady. Like, you understand? You're talking about those are the 2 best quarterbacks in the history of football.
I get that. Those guys.
I mean, Sills, I got you, but come on, man, that's not really the main game.
Are you saying there's 11 Super Bowls between those 2 dudes? I mean,
I'm saying, well, yeah, but I'm also saying, can we use some guys right now that play the style of football that Jalen plays more? You could even go back a little bit if you want to use
Sam Darnold,
Mike Vick, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Sam Darnold doesn't really run like Jalen.
Well, if you look at JSN, they move him all over, and he catches those slants, and they're not real deep. There's not a real deep passing game in Seattle. They throw that intermediate pass to JSN. Hey, do you think Mahomes is a deep thrower?
He was when Tyreek was here, but it really went away a lot after Tyreek left.
Well, after Tyreek left, he threw for 5,400 yards.
Am I wrong about that? Then did he go deep or was it all?
No, he went underneath. It was all underneath shit to Kelsey.
Yeah.
He went to 5,400 yards and 50
Well, look,
TDs.
I think where you bring up a good point here is obviously Jalen is not going to be like Brady. They just have a different skill set, which is fine. But maybe where you have a point is as he ages as a player and gets later into his career, one of the easiest things he can do, or at least should do and apply to his game, is some of this stuff. You're going to get older. You're not going to be able to run around guys forever. You're not going to, if you don't learn to take what's given to you, even when, it might not be your main thing, you're going to make life harder for you in the long run. So maybe it's a good point by you as an area that we have to keep an eye on for Jalen to improve at.
Here, you said something just now. So as Jalen gets older and more experienced in understanding the game, right? Why wouldn't you hire people that could be in that same room with him versus someone that's not in that same room with him? You get me? I mean, you're putting a guy in the room that's not at the same level of knowledge and success with Jalen Hurts. You're putting like a substitute teacher in there. Instead of having the main teacher in the room, you're putting a substitute teacher in and trying to teach him how to learn a new offense. Sean Mannion to me is a substitute teacher because you know why? He's never really been like a focal point guy. Now he may turn out to be Bill Walsh. I don't know.
Why would
you put someone in there with him like that?
I wonder if that's the Eagles thinking behind a guy like Andy Dalton.
Could be
to help Jalen, not as much Mannion, but to help Jalen maybe get that part of his game further along. With all due respect to Tanner McKee, he hasn't seen enough football. He might be a different style, but Andy Dalton's played in how many games in his career? 250 games, 300 games. I don't know how many games he's played. But I don't know. I wonder if that's maybe part of their thinking about, getting a guy who's seen a lot of ball to help Jalen maybe take what the defense is giving him a little bit more.
Do you think that they signed and traded for Dontavian Wicks for Devontae Smith and not Jalen? Follow me here what I mean by this. It's one thing to draw plays up on a chalkboard, Z. It's another thing to draw plays up on a chalkboard, and then you see the player go out and apply it. Because he's never played in this system. This is Green Bay's Matt LaFleur's Sean McVay's system that those guys were all in Washington together. You think they bring him in because it's going to show Mekhi Lemon and also the rest of the wide receiving core exactly what Mannion's looking for
maybe
in the passing game?
Maybe. I mean, they gave him pretty significant money, so they obviously have some belief in the player.
Yeah.
But I do think you're right. I mean, one of the easier ways that they probably saw it is if we're going to get lesser players compared to AJ, let's look for areas where it will help us and maybe knowledge of the scheme makes sense in that regard. I think that's a fair way to look at it for sure.
Well, will Saquon Barkley have more increases in carries this year or in catches this year?
Well, I think he'll increase in catches, but that doesn't mean he won't increase in carries. I think it depends on how good he's running the ball. I mean, if he's running the ball like he was last year, probably going down. But if he's running the ball better and, he's getting 5 yards of carry on first down, then I think he keeps running the ball and they'll rely on that more again. But that's going to be a wait and see for me on that one.
You think the Eagles made a mistake not giving him the ball 300 times last year?
No, I mean,
you dropped off 90 carries,
I know. Can you imagine what they would be saying? They already grilled Nick and Kevin Petula. Can you imagine? AJ Brown was already mad. Can you imagine with 90 more carries to Saquon last year? That dude would have lit the damn locker room on fire on his way out the door.
I want you to hear one last thing here before Gary comes in here. Why do you think they're I'm going to tell you why I think they're making all these changes, and you tell me if you subscribe to it. Do you know what Joe Burrow's offensive line was ranked the last 2 years?
It's got to be bottom 5, bottom 10.
28th and 30th.
Holy crap. That's crazy. Okay. What a shame that guy's spending his entire career in Cincinnati.
24th.
Vince is shitty is what I'm going to start calling him.
By the way, okay, think about it, Z. In 2024, okay, Joe Burrow had the 30th ranked offense. in pro football offensive line. He threw for 5,000 yards, 43 touchdowns, 9 picks, 652 in attempts, 460 in completions, and averaged 289 yards per game throwing the football with the 30th ranked O-line. You know why you're making this change to throw the ball more? Your offensive line is aging. What's the fastest way to get you into a position where you can cover some of the deficiencies in your O-line? Throw the ball on time. Get
Well,
the ball out
that's
quicker.
I agree, and that's an area that Jalen just flat out has to be better, a better football player this year. The offensive line was good in the pass game last year. They never made teams pay, ever, never. It was like nails on a chalkboard trying to get the Eagles passing game to do anything. So I agree with you. Hey, maybe that is a bigger factor in the schematic change that they're taking. But if that is the case, then the only way to then get the most out of your current roster, every team is dealt a deck of cards. I mean, and a lot of times you pick your cards, obviously, but the cards that the Eagles are dealt with this line right now is you got to take advantage in the passing game better. So if they don't do that, then they're going to struggle. I mean, it's a good point by you. I do wonder if maybe that played a bigger factor in this whole thing than just the inefficiency of the offense.
I think the concerns of the O-line are deep. I think the offensive line concerns are deeper than what people think. Zander, do you think that offense is becoming and getting to a point where the names are overrated?
Well, I think it was there a little bit last year. I mean, A.J. Brown was horrible in separation last year. Horrible. I mean, is that all Jalen's fault? I don't think so.
No.
Jalen, in a year where the team needed him to take his game to a next level because the running game wasn't working, really failed to do so. The offensive line struggled in the run game, not to the extent that I think other people think, but they did struggle more than we've been accustomed to in Philadelphia. Dallas Goedert was okay, but sucked in the block game. Would have been effective better in the run game had he done that. So I think there's a lot of different factors last year.
You see my my commentary about AJ spreading lies to the media has taken a gigantic. Marcus Hayes picked it up. Everyone's picked it up about him barking secrets. And I took what you said last week and I thought about it. You said, Sills, but hasn't that been some of the stuff that he came public with? Listen, dude, you don't really talk the same way behind the scenes as you do in front of a microphone, especially when you're spreading stuff. And I'm sorry, but I do believe that. I think A.J. Brown was a bad teammate last year. I really do.
I've come around a lot more on that.
I think he was a bad teammate.
Yeah, me too.
And I get this, and I got to give the Eagles a lot of credit for playing through all that.
But here's the other question. Maybe he handled things poorly, but didn't the Eagles vindicate him by changing their entire scheme?
Yes. Zander, two things can be right.
Yeah, right. He was a bad teammate, but at the same time, why did the Eagles change everything that AJ was saying he didn't like when he went out the door? Yeah. Because AJ was right in a sense of the offense wasn't good enough.
Yep.
That's why I'm just kind of tired of like the whole we pre-build in these scapegoats and these coordinator and all these different things. And it's like, all right, at some point, the players are going to have to be accountable. I didn't hear anybody saying Kellen Moore is the greatest coach in the history of the planet because they won the Super Bowl. No, I heard him saying Saquon Barkley's a stud. But then when it doesn't work, it's all the coaches. It can't go that way. That's inconsistent. Let's be consistent.
Why couldn't coaches in that locker room say, be quiet, AJ? Just tell them to shut the fuck up.
Because they believed he was right. That's why. But still, you can believe someone's right and still tell them to shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
believe me, I do it all the time.
Yeah, man. I mean,
even if it gets me into trouble. A lot of which I've been in recently. That's all right. It is what it is.
Get used to it, Junior. Hey, let me say this again. I just, after all that's said and done, by the way, just so all the Eagle fans know, 18 months from now, AJ might be in Carolina playing wide receiver because he's going to wear his ass out in He's going to wear his ass out in New England too. He is. He's going to wear it out because that's the kind of guy that dude is. But you had to understand that. So I don't know. Let's get to some of these supers, my friend.
Let's do it. I think we only have a couple here. Here we go. Shreds, what's up, Shreds? 162 targets is only 9 per game. That's not outrageous.
9 targets a game?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Boy,
it's a little. I think it's a little.
I tell you, you start throwing 162 targets to somebody in a game, and I look at the rest of the wide receivers in that room. Those rest of those wide receivers, dude, don't scare me. They don't scare me, dude. No way. No way. You think Stowers plays? Hey, do you think Stowers is going to be as good as Kyle Pitts?
No.
Kyle Pitts can't block.
Kyle Pitts was like the 5th pick in the draft, wasn't he?
I know.
I mean, I don't think so. Let's see what Stowers can do. Not going there. Kimberly says Barkley couldn't catch a ball to save his life. He could catch it, Kimberly. He just had to get a few bobbles in there first, though.
Dude, I think his first year he had 73 catches.
Yeah. Well, maybe that will help him this year because they're working on it more in the summer. You know, maybe that will help.
My problem with him, Zander, wasn't his. Well, it is a little bit his pass catching. It's more his blocking on third down. Well, his blocking on third down wasn't very good.
I know. I mean, we're asking him to do a lot, though. But we'll see. We'll see.
Any more?
No, it's
all right. Bro, so what do you got tonight? Spurs winning or Knicks?
I think the Spurs spoil it tonight for New York.
And they win.
They win the game tonight.
Wemby bounces back, right?
But I think New York wins the series.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're going to go 4. I don't think they sweep.
No.
That would be great. If they sweep and they win game 4 in New York, oh my gosh. Stay out of that city.
Tickets will be
I saw someone say, I forget who it was. The Statue of Liberty will be floating in the Hudson or wherever the hell it is. Dude, man, that's funny.
Would be absolutely crazy. Big Z, will catch you in the morning, my friend.
All right, my friend. Later, Sills.
You got it, brother. I'll tell you what, when JAKIB and I were growing up, the Knicks were good. When JAKIB's just a couple years older than me, and with Gary Cobb, he had to look around the Knicks because the Knicks won it in 69-70. Then they won it in 73, and they had all them great teams. When Gary Cobb and I grew up, I don't know about him, but for me, the stars in you got to remember something. Where Gary and I grew up, we were like 38 minutes to Midtown. Like, okay, you can get on the Mayor Parkway and get down into the city, and you could go down there, and you'd be down there in 38 minutes to Midtown. Shit, you get the Mets game in no time, right? You get on the train downtown, right, Gary? You get on the train downtown at Stanford, and you get right down there, take you to Grand Central, and you could go right over wherever you wanted. You're right downtown there. But when I grew up, here were the stars in my life. Tom Seaver won a World Series. Joe Namath won a Super Bowl. And Clyde Frazier won 2 championships. Those were the dudes. And I'm very sure Gary did the same thing I did at MSG. My grandpa used to take me to Barnum and Bailey. If you went down to like Madison Square Garden, they used to have the circus inside Madison Square Garden. And every kid from Stanford would go down to Madison Square Garden, and we eat that pizza, that sliced pizza out front of the old garden. You go in there and you watch WWF wrestling. Bruno Sammartino's in there, right? You go in there and you got the Stones. We used to go down to Madison Square Garden all the time. In New York right now, according to Kimberly in here, she says you can't even get on the subway. And the last biggest event was another one when Gary was younger. Had to be Ali Frazier. Okay? Without further ado, we will get to your Eagles, bud, tonight. Madison Square Garden, the Mecca of the world. JAKIB joins us now. Am I right with all what I said, Gary? You and I
You're
grew
right.
up. That's how we grew up, right?
Yeah, I remember that. Now, see, my older brother, he played, and he took a picture with Willis Reed and Walt Frazier because they came there after they won the championship. And I don't know how he got a part of it, but anyway, he was the one that was up there because he was a big name there then. And he took a picture with them. When he came home, I'm looking at him, man. Is he glowing or what? You still the same guy, I mean, it was big, but yeah, I remember the Knicks. Oh man, they were tough, so tough at home too, because the crowd would start chanting defense, defense, and they would lock people down. And I remember, Walt Frazier, Dave DeBuscher,
Right.
Bill Bradley, Willis
Yep.
Reed, all those guys, man. And of course, Phil Jackson was part of that group too, but they played that tough defense, and boy, they if you win in New York, man, they just lose it, man.
You know what I always thought about though with Madison Square Garden every time we'd go down there is every time you walk in there, man, they still got the organ going.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun. I mean, and like
that's right.
And right, Gary, you can go downtown to the train station in Stanford, get on the train and take you right down to Grand Central, right?
That's right. You go right.
That's how we used to do that. We used to do that all the time. Go down to Brewburger, go down there, have a great time. Go in there for like St. Patrick's Day. I don't think people realize how close we live to the city.
It was very close and everything, but I wasn't rolling down there, but too much. But anyway, because we had 7 kids in our family, man. So Pops wasn't letting us run down there.
So those guys came to Stanford.
Yeah, they came to Stanford that time. They were doing it was some type of promotion.
Was that with Ernie?
No, that was with my brother James, my older brother James.
Okay.
He was starred in at Stanford High. In fact, he had a game at Stanford High, scored 7 touchdowns.
Damn! Holy cow!
Yeah, he was running back. But anyway, that was years ago. I was a little kid there watching. But Willis Reed and Walt Frazier and stuff. I mean, they was like people thinking they were. Man, is that really them? Yeah, they got out of the limo. Wow, Willis Reed and Walt Frazier. Oh man,
Gary, I got to tell you one last story before we go to the Eagles here.
Uh-huh.
So I worked for my pop got me a job working for the city. So I went up to Pound Ridge. I can't tell you how many times. So I go up to Pound Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
I look at this mailbox. It says O'Brien on it. It's right across from the Italian Center. And I'm going like, huh. So this white-haired guy comes out and he goes, hey, if I paid you to cut my lawn, would you do it? He goes, who are you? I go, I'm Danny Sileo. He goes, your brother Bear's kid, right? The fireman. And I go, yeah. I'm over. He goes, you're that football guy over at Stanford Cat. I go, yeah. He goes, you want to cut my lawn? I'll give you $20. And I go, yeah. So I'm cutting the guy's lawn. My grandfather calls me over and goes, you know who that is? I said, no. He goes, that's Larry O'Brien, the former commissioner of the NBA.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going like, what? Sure enough, I walk in. The trophy's named after this guy.
Yeah.
He lived in Stanford up there in Pound Ridge.
That's right. Now who did I remember? Bennett Salvatore, who
oh my God, he went to Catholic High. He was he was an all-state football player.
Yeah.
And Gary, he was an all-state football player and he was a referee forever.
I know, in the NBA. I know. That's why I mentioned Bennett Salvatore. See, he was an umpire when I was in Little League. He was one of our umpires and through Babe Ruth League and everything. But Bennett, he was a good baseball player too. Yeah, but I see him. I would see him at the games and things. So I give him the businesses. But we would get a chance to talk and things when he come through Philly.
He was a great athlete. Another one of those.
He was. Yeah.
Another one of those guys that played during the time back in the road, and back in the time when Bobby Valentine and all them guys were like playing football. That's was right. A little before your time.
That's right. That's right. That's why I remember those guys. I remember all of them. Yeah.
You remember Mickey Haggerty?
Oh yeah, I remember Mickey Haggerty. Oh yeah.
Dude, that guy was like a 2-time All-State football player at Stanford High.
I know.
He was a really good football player.
Yeah, well, he played with my brother, and I played a year or two with him. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. My dad went to Stanford High.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, my dad played for Kutzo. For Kutzo back in the day. Yeah,
Yeah,
Paul Pitzo.
I remember those guys. Well, the names, I remember the names. Of course, they had some of the things named after them.
Hey, he played with Anzalone and Mickey Leone.
Okay.
Back in the day too. That's way
Uh-huh.
back here. So let me go here, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so Gary, what's your takeaway now? 1 week removed from the AJ stuff. I mean, how the impact do you think that this is going to be on this football team? And how do you think this thing moving going forward? Do you think they're going to be able to put this all behind them now?
I think they are. They have a guy I think who's ready for this opportunity, and that's Devontae Smith. He's been a good player, during the time he's been here, but he hasn't had the chance to really where they say, look, we need you to shine. And you forget a guy that's been a Heisman Trophy winner, a guy who's always been so professional, and that's the thing that through this whole thing. I know during times when we've been interviewing him and, he didn't want to get into the quote unquote mess, going, look, I came here to play football. I didn't come here to get into the nonsense and stuff. And if anything, I think that he's shined because he's a pro and he's going to show up to play. I think he's going to help with this, with the new offense and everything. But I think he's going to be the consistent guy. He's the guy they're going to be going to in key situations more than anybody else. But I think Devontae's going to have a big year because they're going to really get a chance to really feature him and everything. And he's going to be able to show how good he is. So I'm looking forward to him. And there are other guys on the offense. I tell you, that offensive line, man, last year, they stunk up the joint, man. I'll give Saquon a lot of credit. Saquon did not call anybody out. Guys are going, are you okay, Saquon? Is your leg hurting? You're not getting as much yardage as you did last year. It wasn't because of Saquon. It was because of the offensive line. And those guys were hurt. They look like they're going to be all right. They look like they're going to be ready to play and everything. So I think it's a lot of the guys on the offense. And, of course, Jalen is going to be the big one. That's going to be the key to the whole thing. And I think he looks towards the challenges too, because come on, every year he's played, people, he's not that good. He's not that good. So he looks forward to the challenge. So I think the whole offense really is going to get a chance to look, can you guys shine without, you don't have AJ anymore. I think they want to show people, hey, look, we don't have anything against AJ, but we'll be fine without him. You know what I mean?
Okay, here's something.
We'll see.
So, that being said about Devontae Smith,
yeah,
he's got 0 Pro Bowls in his career. Do you think
right.
Jalen Hurts does what he did for A.J. Brown? He does for Devontae Smith. Does he turn him into a Pro Bowl wide receiver and then for the next 4 years?
Well, I think that they're going to have a big year. I do think that's going to happen. You think Hurts could have a career year? I think that it definitely could happen. I think he's going to flourish in this offense, because it's the kind of offense where they're not going to be where they got to go to this guy or that guy. They're going to get everybody involved in the offense. And that's supposed to be really one of the features of the offenses. They're not going to just be relying on 1 or 2 receivers. They're going to get the ball to other people. And they're going to spread it out, and they're going to put the defense in position where they got to guard everybody. They don't know where the ball is going, and so we're going to see whether they're able to flourish in it. But the thing about Jalen is, I don't think people know that when they're talking about him. There are guys like this, which is when you're talking about that guy, you're just fueling him. You're driving him, and I think he does know that. He needs to take his game up. There's certain things about his game that he can improve on. He needs to get, more confident in throwing the ball across the middle, finding guys in the middle. And I think that's where a guy like Devontae, and Devontae is not that big. Believe me, he's really kind of skinny, But the thing about him is, dude's got heart. He will go in there and lay out for the football there in the middle of the field and take a lick. And he's shown he's got the toughness. And, I think there's some things he wants to prove.
Do you think they're going to increase his? Do you think they're going to increase his targets to like
Yeah,
160?
I don't think that it's something that they're going to just, sit down and say, I think Jalen trusts him, and I think he believes in him. And so I do think his target's going to go up, and they're going to feature him more, and he's going to get the opportunity to shine. And I think he's looking forward to this. He's probably not going to say anything, but he is looking for this opportunity because everybody's making such a big deal out of AJ not being here anymore. I think he's looking forward to showing everybody, you know what? We'll be fine without AJ. We will be just fine without AJ. And so that's what it's all about. I mean, everybody gets their opportunity. That's what the NFL is about. It's challenges, it's matchups, and we're gonna find out with AJ. With AJ leaving and everything. But Davante is looking forward to this. He's got some things to prove.
I want to ask you one thing about Brown. A lot of stuff's coming out that this guy was leaking out stories from the locker room. Do you believe it, first and foremost? And secondly, surely that's got to hurt relationships now. That if you're telling one. Now, look, Gary, I don't know because a lot of the stuff he's been saying, he said publicly too. However, you and I know this. You could be in front of a microphone, Gary, and say this. Hey, our offense has just got to play better.
Yeah.
You go to Jeff McClain or Tim McManus and go, Hurts has got to play better for our football.
Yeah.
When you're behind the scenes, you're naming names.
Yeah,
in front of the scene, you're not naming names.
Because they're going to ask you.
Right.
Who do you mean?
Think, how much damage do you think that really did to the football team a year ago when you had a guy like that potentially was not being a good teammate?
Well, all I know is there were people.
Do you believe it first? Do you believe it?
I mean, it seems like there's was some bad blood in there. I mean, I know that everybody says that, they say publicly there wasn't, but why you want to leave then? You know what I mean? Come on. There's something wasn't bad. And you know that if you do have something with somebody, all the guys that are playing, they're human beings. And so if you figure you're not getting the ball enough, which, I mean, is that new for receivers to say they're not getting the ball enough?
Gary, I think what you just hit on, I never thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Brown doesn't want to be here because he knows that it was a betrayal. It was a betrayal of trust in that, you know what? Like you said just now, can't be money, can't be winning, it can't be any of those things. He's got to have felt that there was a bridge that was burnt, and maybe even Hurts thought there was a bridge that was burnt with trust. I mean, if quarterback doesn't trust you, how can you play with the guy?
And I think that he was very clear about he felt like he needed the ball more. And I can understand you feeling like that. Come on, what good receiver doesn't feel like that? They're going like, I can make this team better if you get me the ball more. But most of the time, the guy's going to keep it under control to the extent to where you still can play. I mean, but when he gets with his buddies, going, man, they got to throw me the ball more. Now, he might not say that in front of everybody, but come on. How many receivers have I been around? I know that's the way they are. They're always going to say, look, they got to give me the ball more. And so I understand him feeling that way, but usually the guy will keep it in check to the point where he can play on the team because you only got one ball. I mean, come on. And you see by saying that what he's saying about Davante. Now, look, with all due respect, A.J. Brown, you didn't win a Heisman Trophy. You know what I mean? And what round were you drafted in, A.J.? I mean, were you drafted as high as Davante? I don't think he was drafted as high as Davante.
Second round.
Yeah. So come on. I mean, what does that say right there? Just like that alone. Now I know that he's bigger and he showed,
Davante was a better prospect coming out of college.
Yeah. I mean, but you look at what AJ has done and you got to give him credit. I mean, the guy has blossomed and shown why he's just a kind of a freak. Because when you see him as a wide receiver, you don't see wide receivers that big and strong. Because I'm looking at the guy. I'm thinking, well, do you play linebacker what do you play? Because he's a big guy, So I can understand that. But, and I would have told him, like, dude, take it out on the other team, man. You know what I mean? Like, if you get a chance to crack back on, he could have. Now, I know receivers that are as big as he is will say, hey, he tell you as a linebacker, hey, I'm going to introduce myself to you sometime during this game, okay? I'm just going to let you know that. And because he's a guy that really could crack somebody on a crackback block or something. He's a guy that really could do it. But he wasn't so physical on the blocking. He wanted the ball more. And I understand that, but usually receivers can keep it in check enough to where they don't want to leave the team. I mean, especially team that won the Super Bowl, been to the Super Bowl twice in the last 4 years, and you want to leave that team. See, that says something to me about you that I don't like. I'm sorry. The team is winning, but that's not that important to you, huh? You went to the Super Bowl 2 times out of the last 4 years or whatever, 4 or 5 years. And you had a chance really to win 2 of them, but you won 1 of them. But that doesn't make you want to stay here on this team. No. You want to go somewhere else, Now, and the thing about it is I could see him going somewhere and not being as happy as he thinks he's going to be,
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Because you got a young quarterback, and he's not going to just putting the ball up in the air. He's going to be conservative about putting that ball up in the air and turning the ball over. They don't go for that. So
hey,
we'll see. And they're going to double him everywhere he goes. And he doesn't have as many receivers there for the where they go. Well, we got to worry about such and such. Nah, we don't have to worry about. We got to just stop him. So we'll see.
Hey, Gary, you got to do me a favor. One day, take a look at the crackback block that Chad Johnson tried to do on Ray Lewis.
Yeah. I saw that.
He tried to do a crackback. He almost killed Chad Johnson.
I know because he got up and he didn't even hardly know who he was.
Yeah.
He said, I tried it. He saw me, man. He saw me. Yeah.
He dropped him to his knees and he put Chad Johnson on his head.
Yeah.
And I talked to Ray. He goes, yeah, I saw him coming out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah.
I just lowered my shoulder. And and Chad, he saw his eyes go back in the back of his head.
Yeah.
He just almost depleted him there. All right, let me ask you.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that one.
So do you think the Eagles front office, you think they have more faith in the new scheme that they're doing and implementing? Or do you think they have more faith in Hurts? And what I mean by that is, Gary, if they have all this faith in Hurts, why haven't they given him an extension? This is going to be a process over the next couple of years on implementing this new offense. And before you answer that, Gary, okay, so we have, how many days is it now? We have exactly 46 days until training camp. You have 7 months to put all this in. You're not going to get all this in if you don't have exhibition football and these organized team practices. Don't you think this is going to be more of a 1 year, 2 year evolution on what they're going to try to do? Or do you really think it's just going to be that seamless and they're going to turn into the West Coast offense?
Well, I think that they realize that this is not just the West Coast offense. It's going to be a blend of things. Okay. Some of the things they've already done, they're going to continue to do. See, because they're not getting rid of everything like that tush push. They're keeping that in. They're going to continue to do things that they felt were beneficial, but they're going to allow them to bring in these new things that they think are going to help them. And so I think that you're going to see, Jalen. I think he's gonna have to learn. He might not do everything and grab it and swallow it all at once. So he could be growing into it, but I think they feel comfortable, and that's real. This is where it is. They're going to get back to the running game, meaning they're going to be able to run the ball effectively. And if they are able to run the ball effectively, see, it takes a lot of weight off of the quarterback and the passing game. And I think they have a better play action pass game that they're bringing from the Packers, that they do better things and they have more creativity when it comes to showing different things, where they run out of more formations, and they're not going to just be running where they're just sitting behind, where he's not on the center. He's going to be on the center a lot more. So they're going to be doing play action passes, and really the running game and the passing game, I think, flow together better in this offense than they did before. So that's why they think they're going to be able to have success, and that Jalen's going to have success with it, because a lot of times when they go play action pass, people are trying to stop Saquon. See, and that's why if they run the ball more effectively, it's going to take pressure off Jalen, and he's going to be throwing the ball to guys that are open. When it goes play action pass, he pulls that ball out of Saquon's stomach, that he's going to be throwing to guys that are open, the tight ends. Devontae, of course, is going to be getting in on this. But this whole offense, though, is more of a offense they think will flow. And really, I have to agree. And it's been it was really the front office that really has decided some of this. Them and
Yeah.
Nick, but Nick is still going to have some of the things that he likes. They're still going to have an offense, but they're bringing in these different things that I think are going to be beneficial for Jalen and for the entire offense. I think that they're going to flow better. And of course, Saquon is going to be a big part of it, as he should be. So, but the line, though, that's going to be the key. The line needs to have a good year. If they have a good year, they're going to have they'll be fine offensively.
So what do you make of AJ Brown taking number 1 up in New England?
AJ, man, look, I liked AJ. Different times I talked to him, he was cool. But I understand, though. In fact, I used to joke with a lot of the guys, that played wide receiver, that they got some kind of a, it's a, what does it say? The different, the makeup of the human being and everything, the molecules,
Yeah, the DNA.
The DNA of a wide receiver is different than the rest of us. That's why I was joking these guys. Because, come on, how many wide receivers do you know that if you lost a game and they didn't get the ball on that last drive, and they weren't throwing the ball to them on that last drive, they're not smiling when they're walking into that, man. There's no
Gary,
smile.
I knew there was...
Even if they won, even if you come back and win, the wide receiver that did not get the ball on that last drive, he's not smiling.
Remember when AJ won the Super Bowl? He went like this. Damn, this is it?
Yeah, that's right.
And you're like, wait a minute, man. What do you mean this is it?
Come on.
You just got the crowning achievement. And he's like, damn. Almost like he felt unfulfilled because he didn't, I think, maybe do enough in that game or something like that. I don't know.
He did get a touchdown, but still, that's not enough, and I'm sorry. Dude, I'm sorry, man. I do not appreciate that type of attitude. I understand that maybe because of, your molecular structure that you just can't get it, man. But look, this is a team sport. This is a team sport. And so, you want everybody celebrating when you score a touchdown. You cut your long pass. Everybody's all over you and everything. But you let the team score somehow the other way, and you're over there, ain't no smile. You know what I mean? But I understand that's a wide receiver problem.
Hey, he took Jalen Hurts' number in New England.
Yeah, I know. Come on, man.
Hey, you
Nonsense.
can't. How is that not like a message? Because Amendola, or was it Edelman? They said, I think it was Edelman said he could wear the number 11. And he goes like, nah, I'm taking 1. I want number 1. Jalen Hurts' number. He's taking it in New England.
It's going to be fun because, after every game, I'm going to look over there to see how he's doing and everything. And if he's not making a lot, he doesn't have a big year this year, then I'm going to look him up somewhere. When I see him, I'll probably see him somewhere at the Super Bowl somewhere. Go, hey, man, how you doing, man? Oh, they didn't have that good of a year there.
Who do you think has a better year, Devontae or AJ?
I think Devontae's going to have the better year.
Wow. Okay.
Well, and the reason I say that is he and Jalen already have a connection, and I think that he's going to have a big year. I think they because they're going to get this offense rolling, and because if Saquon if Saquon has a good year, I think they're going to have a huge year offensively. I think.
Couple last ones here for you, Gary. Do you believe this year that Jalen Hurts can change a narrative, that he needs to have a loaded team, he needs to have a big-time wide receiver for him to win? Mm-hmm. Isn't this a time, if you go back when Mahomes, think about what Mahomes did. They get rid of Tyreek Hill, they go to 3 AFC titles, they win 2 Super Bowls. Josh Allen wins an MVP award after they get rid of Stephon Diggs. Can you imagine if Hurts gets to the NFC Championship game without A.J. Brown? And so, to me, you could kind of change the narrative this year, can't you?
That is true. That is true. And I could see that happening. I mean, if we just sit back and look at how Jalen has played in these when they get to the postseason and when they've gone on these runs to where they've gone to the Super Bowl, how well he has played. And I don't see any reason that's not going to happen again. And I think that the reason they've gone to this offense is that I think it's going to give them a chance to really shine. And of course, there's no guarantees. You got to go out and do it. So he knows. And I think the challenges like this are something that Jalen thrives. I think he flourishes in this type of situation. And we're going to see, because you better believe it, they're going to be talking about it very loud here in Philly, because it's going to decide on what kind of year they're going to have,
Absolutely here.
So it'll be fun.
All right, the last one here. You tell me, Jalen Hurts this season, how far does he take this team without A.J. Brown? Do you think they get to is this an NFC Championship team?
I think that they should be. I don't see any reason why they shouldn't. Because I think the defense is going to be good, and it's going to come down to the offense being able to flourish. I think they're going to do well. Yeah, I could see them right there knocking on the door. If they don't get through, but I think they're right there knocking on the door. The NFC Championship game. So we will see. But this is why they play the game.
Hey man,
we'll see.
This is going to be quite the season, because you're going to have an A.J. Brown count over here.
That's right.
You're going to have Jalen Hurts over here.
That's right.
And it's going to go on all year long.
All year long. Hey, and now, do you think they're going to look at each other's stats or what?
Oh, yeah.
You better believe it.
If A.J. Brown has a 1,500-yard year up there, and that team wins 11, 12 games.
Yeah, that's
that passing offense is still 23rd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there's going to be problems.
You better believe it.
Gary Cobb, as always, it is awesome. I appreciate you very much. Hey, by the way, did you see Bobby V getting inducted into the Met Hall of Fame?
No, I didn't see that. I didn't know that. Is that so?
Yeah, he got inducted into the New York Mets Hall of Fame, and I'm like, that's so great. I sent him a text. I go, hey man, you played 2 years with the Mets. I mean, congratulations. I don't know. Hey, it's got to be he goes like this. It was the mustache, and I'm like, all right, it was the mustache.
I guess
that's
so.
Cool, man. Any Stanford guy getting love, we're all good with that. G-Cobb, thank you, my friend.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
You got it. All right, that's Gary Cobb. Make sure you check him out on Fox 29. Yeah, Hurts wears one. Now AJ wears one. You got to love it. You got to love it. Absolutely. You don't think that that's a shot? By the way, too, Edelman said he could wear it if he wanted to, that he could wear number 11. He goes, no, I want number 1, and I'm going to wear 1. Baker couldn't catch a ball to save his life. Barkley couldn't. Yes. Double check to see if I missed one more. Thought I did. Not. We'll move on. 162 targets and only 9 pregame. That's outrageous. We got them all. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you guys so much. Please hit that like button. Yeah. I listen, I think it's going to be quite the year. Turnovers are the biggest concern. High volume, Rasputin results in high turnovers. That's what happened in 23. The football team turned the ball over a lot. The offense had, like I said, the offense had 21 turnovers in 17 ball games that year. Sills, do you think Smitty will hold up with so many targets and Jalen forcing him the ball? Okay, so you tell me, Curtis. He's going to be taking on double teams he's never taken on before, and he's going to have more targets. How about this? Is this fair to say? I'm not concerned that he's injury prone. It's the law of averages. Okay? See, right here, this is a lie. It's an absolute lie. Yeah, when you only throw the football 300 times, you're going to have less turnovers. And as I've said to you before, when Jalen threw the most in his career, 538 attempts, in 2023, he had 15 interceptions. And if you go with the fumbles, that year, he had how many fumbles lost did he have that season? Fumbles. Fumbles. He had 8. That's 23 turnovers in 17 ball games. I mean, literally a fact. I just gave you the fact. You had 23 turnovers in 17 ball games. And if you add the 4, he had 8 more. That's 31 turnovers in 18, 19, 20, and 21 games. Facts. Can't use recent history because recent history are the least amount of attempts that he's had. Last 2 years, 361, 454. The number 1 least attempts and the 3rd least attempts in passing attempts his last 2 years. That's why they didn't turn the ball over. Facts. He'll be throwing more quickly and less to lesser weapons. That's where the turnovers came in during 24. Okay? Can't make this shit up. James, can't make it up because it's fact. When Hurts increases his volume of passing, he has turnovers. What flip-flop? Guy thinks facts are flip-flops. That's why he's an idiot. Less turnovers and time of possession is a recipe for success. Yes. Sills, we too good now, man. Let's see here. Yeah, those numbers aren't. Those are facts. It's what he did with higher volume. Higher volume resulted in turnovers. And the reason, and by the way, here I'll tell you exactly. Jalen Hurts is 24th in passing attempts in the last 5 years as a passer. He's 24th. I think that number is. Let's see here. Since 2021. Since 2021. let's see. Since 2021, quarterback with the least passing attempts. Okay, let's see here. Actually, let's go most passing attempts because then we can get a better sense of that. And I'll tell you exactly. Most. Here we go. Since 2021, Jalen Hurts is passing attempts. Let's go here. I see here since 2002. Okay, here we go. Since 2022, Hurts is 11th. Since 2023, in the last 3 years, Hurts is 14th in passing attempts. He's 15th in completions. And in passing yards, he's 15th in the last since 2023 and 24. If you want to go 25, 24, and 25, and this is probably more so that why they're changing, passing attempts since 24, Hurts is 22nd. Yards, Hurts is 20th. TDs, Hurts is 21st. Can't make that shit up. Okay? Can't make that shit up. A sack is better than a turnover. Yes. Because you're not surrendering field position and possession. And he does believe in that. Because it's only multi-variable quarterback stat that doesn't ignore sacks. Okay? I just don't get it. How do you decline so much? Also mentality, though. Their approach, James, they completely changed the last 2 years. Sounds like a 20th ranked quarterback. Well, the passing attack has been terrible the last 2 years. There's no doubt. I mean, if you just go on yards alone, let's just go yards alone. Hurts is 20th. I mean, you got quarterbacks like Jaden Daniels, who missed a shitload of time, still has more passing yards. Let's see here. '23 and 24. Since 2024. Yeah, since 2024, yards. Hurts is 20th. Jaden Daniels has more passing yards. Yes. Get this. See this down here? And that's why the Eagles are changing to a passing offense. in drafting wide receivers. Get this. So passing stat, Jeff Kerr said that passing stats are for losers, but they drafted a wide receiver and moved up 3 spots for him. And they signed a guy and gave him $14 million. Get this. If the passing stats is so stupid and for losers, why are you drafting wide receivers in the first round and another one in the second round and giving a guy $14 million if it's for losers? How in God's name does that make sense? So wait a minute. According to this fucking idiot, I'm talking Reyes, not Jeff Kerr. Passing stats for losers. And yet your first 2 picks in the draft were wide receiver. Obviously, somebody's concerned about passing numbers. You get this. Okay? Get this. You can't make this shit up. Okay? Because when you're losing, what? Does that even make sense? So you drafted your first 2 picks in the draft. Wide out, you moved up 3 spots. You drafted a tight end in the second round. And passing stats are for losers, but the Eagles drafted and used their draft equity and signed a passing coordinator. How does that not make sense? Everything Reyes is just saying here makes no sense on what the Eagles have done this offseason. Dude, the Eagles have made you look stupid. They drafted 2 wideouts in the first 2 picks. They gave a guy $14 million, and they hired Sean Mannion. And they signed 4 other guys to play wideout. Nobody cares about the numbers? Why do the Eagles then? You're trying to tell me you think that somebody doesn't care about a passing game and they use the first 2 picks in their draft to draft wideouts. Man, hey, smart enough to get what? You use your draft picks to get wideouts? But that doesn't matter, the passing stats. Okay. Reyes, you're finished for the night. You can go watch a Knick game now. Seals, I bet Burrow wishes Bengals drafted Sewell instead of Chase. Probably so. Seals, you too old to be talking crazy to us. What are you talking about, dumbass? Seals is wrong. They aren't changing the passing offense. Okay, so wait a minute. Curtis, why are you so convinced that Chris Cooper and Sean Mannion will be better than what they did last year with Jeff Stoutland and Kevin Patullo? How do you know Mannion's not the same guy? He's a first-year play caller. How in God's name are you assuming that? You're like just assuming that, right? Seals, do you think Trump is safe in a city of communists? Ugh. Seals, I didn't say I'm sure it will be better, okay? But I'm sure they know how and who Jalen is, aren't going to ask him to spread it around with high volume. Even though you sit there and you sign and hire all these guys. Whew. Congratulations, Sig. I probably made your day. Wow. The vibes, Sil, the vibes. We knew the passing game would suck last year. You did? You just won the Super Bowl. You knew it would suck? You knew that? That the passing game was going to suck? Really? That you didn't think, right? Do you think this scheme will feature a lot more passes out of the backfield on RPO as is Hurts' strength? No. I do think you're going to see more passes to the running back. You're conflating passing stats with passing game. Am I? Stats are subjective. We had 2 1,000-yard receivers last year, but the passing game was less than stellar. That's situational play calling. That's where I do agree with the play caller. You're get this. I'm not worried about Sean Mannion Monday through Saturday, dude. I'm worried about Sean Mannion on Sunday calling plays. That's where I'm more worried about is situational play calling. Sills, is it true Irvin knew Jimmy was going to be the next Cowboy coach? Well, here's what happened. So the night before, we had been hearing some things that Jerry Jones bought the team from Bum Right. I was there. As a matter of fact, at the press conference, I got a picture of me at the press conference. And we knew something was up, but it was the sell of the team. Bum had sold the team. And all of a sudden, things started moving fast. So the day before, I get a call from Jimmy. Hey, I'm in Dallas. Why don't you and Michael come over to this Mexican restaurant that was there in Dallas, and I'll meet you for dinner. I can't remember what happened, but that dinner got canceled for some reason. And Michael Irvin and I went out for dinner that night. And Michael said, something's up. What's Coach Johnson doing in Dallas? I said, I mean, you know, him and Jerry used to show up to our practice all the time. And so we were like, sure enough, man, by the morning, it had started getting around. Jimmy Johnson had signed a contract before Tom Landry was fired. And so we went over, and I remember my wife, who was my girlfriend then, she was with me. And I go, I think they just fired Tom Landry. And we went over, and all of that happened. And Coach Landry came in and told us that they had fired him. It's crazy. So Michael may have had a heads up before I did, because I think he probably did. Because I think Jimmy may have said something to him. Mannion, Cooper, Mahaffey are going to get the same run blockers who averaged 3 yards a carry on the outside zone to 3 yards when Stoutland couldn't. Great take. Rasputin, great take. Hey, think of this for a second. Mannion, Cooper, and Mahaffey are going to be better coaches than Stoutland. Make that make sense. I mean, make that make sense. Hey, get this. You'll have people in there say that it will be better. Yeah, okay. Sills, I think Barkley will end up being an Edgerrin James type player, not a Hall of Famer. 1 to 2 years left. Need to draft a running back soon. Well, Edgerrin James is a Hall of Famer. Edgerrin James made the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's a great football player. Hurts thing is crazy. He collecting all them stones. Let's see here. Hang on for a second. There you go. No funny shit, but the NFC East looks better. The Eagles shitted the bed. I still listen. I like Dallas this year to win the East. I do. I think the Eagles have taken steps back. We'll find out if we're wrong. You may be right, and I may be wrong. That's why we do sports talk. We have opinions. My opinion is I think you're taking a step back. Everyone has all this negative takes on the Eagles. God damn. And all y'all media guys at this point. I think there's a lot change. Too much change. You've lost A.J. Brown. You're changing the entire offense, and you got an aging O-line. You think they're going to bounce back to the fountain of middle age? I don't. We shall see. I mean, Lane Johnson's not even. Get this. How many people think Lane Johnson will take a step back in his 16th year? Last year, he missed 8 games. You think he misses more or less? The offense has definitely taken a step back, but I would say the defense takes a step up. So does it cancel out or what? Well, if the offense is taking a step back and the defense is taking a step up, sounds like a 500 football team to me. Jalen Hurts will be ready to run Mannion out by game 8. They will never take off those Hurts green glasses and face facts. Oh, they'll get there. They'll get there by the end of the year. I'm not sure if the numbers will be the best, but I think this defense is about to look its best. Fangio's 3rd year with these guys, I have high confidence. So you think they'll be better than 24? And I pointed out some numbers to you. They were 23rd in rush defense. They were 31st in third down. And they're going to improve in those numbers. I think they will. I do. The offense can't take any more steps back. Jalen has us on the edge of the cliff plank. Well, look at the last 2 years, like I said. It's been a horrific passing game. It's been terrible. 28th or 29th and 23rd. Lane Johnson's legs are half as big as they were prior to the foot injury. That tells me that he can't do heavy lifts he has in years prior. I think as you get a little older, though, what you want to try to do, you want to try to lose weight as much as you can. Remember what they were in 23. That was a high-volume passing game. Yes. I just sent Lane a fresh batch of roids. Man. Let's see here. As long as Sirianni is there, Jalen Hurts will use him as a built-in excuse. Horrific, I agree. And it all starts and ends with number 1, which is why I'll not be optimistic. Landon and Jurgens are supposed to be healthier. I think that was an issue last year. So, I mean, well, here, birds. Everyone's assuming that Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson are going to be better players this year. Okay? That he's going to be a better player. Has Becton been signed? No. I don't think so. I've seen just 2 running teams win the last 2 Super Bowls. I'm saying win the 2 last Super Bowls, I'm assuming. Well, then, Derek, okay? Then why are you going to all this schematic? I disagree with the one guy in here who thinks this is going to, I think it's Curtis, who thinks this is going to be all about like the run game. I think they're going to do cosmetics on the run game. Under center, motion. That's cosmetics, dude. That's actually not getting guys open. Okay? I've never done roids, but I could see why people do it. Why? To make millions of dollars? Always my favorite conversation. I would never do it. I would never take juice. You kidding me? That's cheating. Oh, okay. If you're under the impression NFL guys don't do supplements, you're fucking so. Anything I tell you guys, you'll never believe. You think players aren't taking things now that are not under the radar and that they're not taking human growth? So naive. All about kissing cheerleaders and casting paychecks, right? You think players aren't taking things now to get their bodies ready? My God. Says I think they are doing cosmetics on the passing game. Yeah, I think they're doing cosmetics on the passing game too. I don't think really it's got anything to do with their approach. Some players do it the right way, Sills. Yeah. Okay. Some players do it the right way, Sills. Mid-90s Hulk Hogan was a twig compared to 80s. People do it the right way. Yeah. You mean like Lane Johnson? Hey, Reyes, hold on. You mean like Lane? Lane got busted for juice. Hey, Lane got busted for juice. Didn't he get busted twice? How many times has Lane Johnson been nabbed for steroids? How many times has Lane Johnson been busted for PED use? Twice. Oh, shit. Hang on here. Lane Johnson has been suspended 2 times for violating the NFL's performance-enhancing policy. 2014 for 4 games and 2016 for 10 games. Oh. He does it the right way. He did it to come back from injuries. What was the other one for? Oh, what? Players in the 80s didn't take him for injuries too? This guy's been busted twice for juice. Hey, Lane Johnson's been busted twice. He does it the right way. So, wait a minute. Senor, I'm assuming that Reyes thinks that he's not taking anything else that's kind of under the radar, right? Even though a guy who's been busted twice in steroid use. Probably, right, Reyes? He's not doing anything now. Okay. Miss Reyes will say anything to justify it. Oh, man. Greatest player in the history of the Eagles got busted for juice. I'm all right with it. So would you say players take steroids more for faster recovery or for strength? I say both. I say both, dude. I'll tell you one thing you don't do. You don't take it to look good in front of the mirror. Okay? Didn't you call AJ the greatest Eagle the other week? No, I called him the greatest wide receiver in Eagle history the other week. That's what we said. This guy's so awful in takes. Okay. Hey, dude, your boy got busted twice for steroids. Any comment? Whether he's taking it for injuries or not, your boy got busted twice for juice. Any comment? So did Lane do it the right way? Any comment, dude? The greatest Eagle of all time got busted for juice. I don't really care. But you made the comment he does it the right way. Anything? Got busted for juice twice. Missed 14 games. Yo, I didn't tell him to put it on the screen. Okay. It's okay that he took it. I just hope you don't get caught the third. He don't get caught the third time. There you go, Angelo. That's my take too. Absolutely. It's okay. Why are you so protective of steroid talk? You get so triggered because you think it's all about kissing cheerleaders and passing cashing paychecks, and that it's not about that behind the scenes. That's why. You think it's about all these guys doing the right thing. Are you fucking crazy, guy? You have no idea what it takes to play. And taking juice might be part of it for some guys. Some guys may take PEDs. Some guys may take growth hormone. It just depends on what the body reacts to. You think it's all about kisses and fucking hugs, rainbows and butterflies. It ain't, dude. Fucking stupid. It's another example of another guy not knowing what the fuck he's talking about. Ray is so protective about NFL players. I mean, the furthest I go to that crap was raw egg whites. There you go. Yeah, he thinks it's kisses and hugs and rainbows and butterflies. Oh, nobody would ever do anything to get themselves ready for football. No way. Not my hero. Sills, was it Campese's that y'all ate with Jim? Oh, love Joe Campese's. Hey, DFW, have you ever been to Campese's? I'm going to read you the menu off the top of my head. Have you ever been to Campese's? It's on Mockingbird Lane. I knew Joe very well. So did my wife. And Corky, right, Cam? Corky's the kid. And the kid ran the place. And Joe Campese, what a great dude, man. Randy White introduced me to Joe Campese. Hey, DFW, ready? The Crab Claws, the Randy Whites. The Crab Claws, the Randy Whites. Oh, my God. The lasagna, the meatballs they make there. Hey, by the way, DFW, you see the Rocky Marciano? The Rocky Marciano signature that's in the place? Hey, dude, he died like a couple weeks after that. Yep, he has a couple locations now. Yeah. Sills, with Smitty being number one, he will be used as a decoy at times in the West Coast scheme because Jalen will have more check down targets, correct? That's the theory. That's the theory. Okay? That's totally the theory. Man, that place has got great freaking food in it. The pizzas too in there. Dude, Campese's one of our favorite. My daughter loves those crab claws. Great food, man. Raw tuna, I can do kind of me and my wife just go sushi. I'm not real big on it, but Dude, my grandpa loved eel. With Nick S as head coach, the Eagles can't keep no competent coaches in the building. Yeah, it's hit or miss. It's hit or miss. All right, let me pay some bills here. My great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm in all of America for a reason, and we appreciate them being part of the program. And actually, I got to tell you, I appreciate Morgan & Morgan being part of all my platforms. I want to thank you very much. With over $30 billion recovered, Morgan & Morgan is the number one injury law firm in all of America for a reason. Folks, if you're ever hurt on a job, there is no company like Morgan & Morgan. I tell you about the family here in PA that was initially offered $650K. They got nearly $30 million in settlement, or the family in Florida that was offered $350,000. They got nearly $12 million in settlement. Ultima John Morgan started this company over 25 years ago to defend families across this country. And I promise you, it is without a doubt the number one law firm on the planet. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sales sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
Had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Hey, by the way, I want to tell you guys something that you guys are responsible for. Zander too, man. So I got a job with Sports Grid because of the relationship. Joe Krause and Zander introduced me to Mike Cardano, and we got some numbers that came in. 5.5 million people have watched 40 episodes of my show so far on Saturday and Sunday from like noon to 2. So make sure you check it out. I mean, pretty good stuff, man. 5.5 million people have watched it. And it's really great. And, you know, so Sports Grid, they sent out the numbers too and put out 5.5 million people have watched the program. And that's, you know, and it's a Saturday, Sunday show. And by the way, they're moving it to Monday through Thursday because of the success of the show. So it'll be on Monday through, we'll probably be on right after this show. And we're going to do an hour. I don't know when yet, but we're going to start doing that pretty soon here because of the success of the show. And that thing's going Monday through Friday. So very proud of it. And I want to thank you guys because without you guys, I would never have gotten that gig. So really appreciate it. Thank you very much. All good here. And yeah, so moving forward, it's pretty cool. Oh, you like, oh my God, guy. Why even waste your times with that guy? He comes in there every day. Hey, Nad, stop talking to that guy. He's a fucking loser, man. I mean, I pay to support a good product. Jace, thank you, dude. That's really dope of you to do that. Yeah, man. Hey, Jason, you get dudes like, you know, that come in here every day and he sends things to YouTube to try to cancel the show every day. He can't stand what we're doing in here and he's here every day. So as a matter of fact, I don't block him. I mean, dude, the guy's a weirdo, man. I mean, really. And he came in here to get some takeaways from you guys. Dude, my boys at Morgan are great, aren't they? Number one injury law firm on the planet, too. Okay? Hey, dude, I'm glad we can make your life for you. Awesome. Glad you come here. Hey, guy. All I say is this guy comes in here every single day, Monday through Friday, says I have no viewers, nobody watches the program, everyone hates me, but he's here for 4 hours a day. It's awesome. I love it. It's crazy. The guy's like a chick, man. He's a stalker. I mean, Sil's going to need an injury law firm after he trips over all of his summer takes this season. We shall find out. At least I got a take. Seals, you paying Jomo 25 or Carter 35 with similar numbers? We have some serious decisions to make because we aren't keeping both. No, you're not keeping both, dude. You're not keeping both. Here, think of this, Twiz. Okay? Twiz. Let's do Q next year. Carter. A Jomo. Cooper. 1, 2, 3, 4 dudes. Okay? All on defense, too, correct? Okay. Q's going to make north of $32 million. Cooper's going to make at least $30 million. You going to pay a Jomo 25? And you're going to pay Carter what? 40? Okay. That's 62. 40. That's $130 million for 4 players. Twiz, you're paying that much money for 4 players? $130 million? Bro, let me ask you something here. You spent $200 million on your payroll on your offense. You just spent 130 on 4 dudes. That's over the salary cap. And you got 7 more guys to play plus backups. Where are you getting that money from? You're losing Lane? Okay. You're losing AJ. Still got cap money on there. I mean, hey, Rasputin. I was talking about who you're going to pay next year. You're adding $130 million to your cap next year in 4 guys. 130. $130 million. Okay. Let's see here. Bond. Reyes, I'll say that. I don't think Zach Bond. Hey, Reyes, I like that idea. Next year, you're losing Lane, Barkley. Hey, guys, don't you agree? It's also a big year for Barkley. If Barkley doesn't have a great year, you're moving on from that guy too, right? You're moving on from him. Mulata's already built into the cap, though. Mulata's doing new. Mulata is that right? Holy shit, I didn't realize that. Is Jordan Mulata due a new contract? Is Mulata due a new contract in 2027? No. It expires in 29. He signed a 3-year contract. He is signed with the Eagles through the 28th season, having inked a 3-year, $66 million deal. And cap hit is $18 million in 27 and $19 million in 28. In the contract, he becomes an unrestricted free agent in 29. So he's not up. Eagle fans could have Mac Jones starting quarterback, and they would still think they're the best team in the NFL. I like Mac Jones. I think you can get a lot out of Mac Jones, and I think you can win just as many games with Mac Jones as you could with Jalen Hurts. I don't really understand Barkley move on. Y'all act like he just had 400 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dude, hey, Spaz, I'm with you. I think Barkley's going to have a rough year. I think that offensive line's going to have a rough year. Once they move on from average Jalen next year, Eagles will have plenty of money. I'll tell you what, man. Baker Mayfield is not happy with the Bucs. He is not happy. He is not. He made it very clear that we are far apart. The Bucs reportedly offered him $48 million. And I think he's closer to 60. And the Bucs are like, yeah, no. And so Baker Mayfield is going to be a free agent, I think. Okay. Baker. Okay, let's take a look at something. So Baker Mayfield in Philly. I just don't like his style of play either. I think he's too reckless. And he gets himself hurt. But he's a better passer. And that's what they're looking for. So let's take a look. By the way, he's 2-2 versus the Eagles as a player. So let's go here with Mayfield. Last 3 years in Tampa. He's thrown for 12,237 yards, 95 touchdowns, and 30 interceptions in the last 3 years. Let's take a look at Hurts. Let's take a look at Jalen last 3 years. Jalen Hurts. Stats. Let's take a look. There we go. Last 3 years. 38, 58, 2903, 11, 6, 17, 67, 61, and then 32, 24, 3, 2, 2, 4, 5, 8, 9, 9. Mayfield's thrown for 12,237. Hurts is thrown for 9,985. Last 3 years, touchdown passes, 23, 18, 11, 41, 25. He's thrown for 66 touchdowns. Mayfield's thrown for 95 touchdowns. So he's just a better passer. And once again, like I said, folks, remember something. The Eagles are changing this offense based on numbers, not wins. Because if they were talking about wins, they keep everything the same. Last year, Mayfield was throwing to rookies behind a busted line. He was, but he also has to take better care of himself in how he plays. I think he's too reckless with his body. Guy throws himself into harm's way all the time. Vic and Bradford are like the only signing trades that ever became the start under AR, Chip, Doug, and Nick. Okay? Let's see here. People get paid. I know certain channels, but I don't think that was a real thing. They always go with a guy they draft. Yes. The Eagles do too. Okay? Even Foles the second time was still drafted here. Nick Foles, I always said this about Nick. If Nick had a better organization in other places like he did in Philly, I think he could have done more. Look where he went. Jacksonville, the Colts, and the Bears. You know the Bears have never had a 4,000-yard passing quarterback? Do you think Andy Dalton will be the bridge quarterback after Hurts is released? Hurts is not getting released. That would be devastating in cap hit. Remember something, too, about Jalen. Dude, Jalen has the leverage. The Eagles don't have the leverage. He's got a no trade. He's got a no trade in his contract. That guy gets to dictate. You're not sending him to the Jets. You're not sending him to Carolina or the Browns. His guy's got, Nicole Lynn getting that no trade is worth $20 million. You have a no trade in your contract. Dude, that's big time. They should leave it alone if they knew that what's good for them. I would have done this. And I know this is not going to be fashionable thinking here. I would have done this. Well, so wait a minute. Let me ask you this. It's a great take, Jason. Everybody, Zander, myself, John McMullen, if you think the team is going to be healthier, hey, Reyes, how many people think the team is going to be healthier this year? How many people believe that? That the Eagles will be healthier this year? That they're going to be a healthier team than the last couple years? How many people believe that? That they're going to be a healthier team for this 2026 season? If you believe that, okay, should be, let's see, on the O-line at least, okay? Not me, especially at the wide receiver position. Who knows? Not me. Well, wait a minute. Here's what people are assuming, that the offensive line is going to be healthier. We really need the O-line to be healthy for the most part. I believe the new scheme and OC are going to benefit the team, and that we won't be pushing the limits of the trenches over 60% of the time or some BS. Do you believe the O-line is going to be healthier? Because if that's the case, why wouldn't you stick to what you were doing then? Win you 50 games? Why wouldn't you stick to what you were doing? If you believe the offense is going to be healthier, why wouldn't you have stuck to what you were doing? You had success. The worst you would do is 11 wins. You don't know how many games you're going to win with this. Why, if you believe you're going to be healthier, why wouldn't you have left it alone? Hey, we're going to be healthier. No need to panic. No need to do anything different. I don't need to change. I didn't say I believe they'll be healthier. I'm saying no. Okay. Let's see here. Team needs to manage them better. Manage what? Taking the O-line guys on and out? You don't take offensive line out. Sills, is it true the Eagles are going after Crosby? I'll tell you what. Max Crosby's name is back in play again. We're not talking turf toe or hamstrings. There's a catastrophic back injuries. 2 had knees for Dickerson and a broken foot for a 325-pound middle-aged right tackle. I'm with you. Hey, I'll tell you what, Cosmo. If this doesn't pan out, it will be a panic and an overreact. This is going to make Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman look like a genius if this does work. If this doesn't work, this will be the third implosion in 4 years. Be the third implosion. Okay? His name is being mentioned in Dallas again, too, Sills. Dude, I think Crosby's I think Max Crosby, I think teams are calling for him. Now that they're past June 1. And when you go into training camp and you look at your guys, boy, I'll tell you this, you put Max Crosby on the other side of Jonathan Grenard, Crosby, Carter, Davis, and Grenard, Crosby, those two in the middle. You could play a 43. I don't know if you could go to they wouldn't go to a 43. They'd go to a 5 front because a Jomo would be up front. You'd have a Jomo. You'd have Grenard and Crosby and Davis. That'd be pretty formidable, dude. Pretty formidable. Shields, do you think Howie's hoping Stowers and Lemon can produce the production they lost from AJ in 2 years? Yes, I do. Completely agree. I'm not giving the Raiders a 1. Now, I might give you somebody like Nolan Smith who was a 1. And I may even give you a contingent pick. Hey, if the guy pans out like he's an all-pro and plays insane football, all of a sudden that thing becomes a 1. I might do something like that. You know? All right. Pay some bills. Our friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America for a reason. Folks, there is no law firm in America like Morgan & Morgan. None. Nobody defends families in this country like Morgan & Morgan if you've ever been injured on the job. I've known these folks for over 25 years. Trust me when I tell you. I've had people call me and tell me, like, you know, hey, Sales, thanks for the advice. I called Morgan & Morgan. They took my case, and I got more than what I thought we were going to get in a return. Do me a favor. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
Yeah! There's a reason the Karate Master was the #1 salesman in the lumber department.
Karate.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand.
Thank you.
We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
I don't think it's a sweep. I think the Spurs bounce back and win tonight. And I think the Knicks are going to have to win the NBA championship in San Antonio. I got the Knicks in 6, but it's going to be electric tonight. Guys, hit the like button. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming here. We will see you tomorrow, and we'll catch you on the flip side.